The following show is for mature audiences only. Chi-City Sports.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
Starts now.
The tape never lies.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory fourth-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
Keeping it 100.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Chicago Bears select Cole Kmet.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now they're mouthed up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, stars get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. We're down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We analyze so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yo, this is Claudio the Barber, and this is Chi-City Sports Keeping It 100. Man, Sunday, what a game. It was ugly, but you know what? We got the W. We're 1-0. We're on to the Giants. And so, to talk about that and other Bears football, we got JJ Stankevitz from NBC Sports Chicago coming on to talk to the guys. So, let's bring them on. Shayne and Phil, what up, boys?
Where are they?
There they are.
Here we are.
I'm looking at you. I can see you. I'm in the same
I
room.
think we need to give Claudio a big old hug, Phil. What do you think?
Thank you, please.
Poor guy.
That's what I need.
This guy's had a stressful night.
Yeah, thank you. I
Oh
appreciate
my
the support.
He's like a
Shayne,
six-
especially Shayne.
He's like a 16-year-old getting ready for prom that has a pimple in the middle of his forehead, crying like a little bitch.
Listen. I'm a rookie, man. I'm learning. I'm learning from the best.
He's learning.
Yep.
He's learning as he goes.
Yeah. So what's going on, guys?
Man, it's the whole week goes so much smoother coming off a big W like that, even though we were, there was a lot of luck involved in this one. DeAndre Swift dropping that ball, which we'll get into a little bit later, but man, it makes everything in life. The air is sweeter, it's just a little bit warmer outside. The sun's a little bit brighter. When Chicago Bears win, man, it's definitely a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a real fan of the Chicago Bears, you get into the point where you live and die. Your week, your whole plan, your whole life revolves around the football game and what the Bears do and who they are. So it's so important, I know for me, to have that victory to thrust you forward through the week. And I'm not a big fan of excuses because the Chicago Bears have been on the other end of the dropped pass, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. We should have won the game, Shayne. We should have. If only this guy would have made the play, we would have won this game. It's happened countless times. So I'm not a big subscriber of the excuse. That's part of football. I said it to people on the YouTube channel in the comments earlier, and I'll say it again. The reality of the truth is this. The Chicago Bears went out there. They faced a division rival who knows them, right? They've played each other before, and Mitch has gone out of his way to beat them in critical situations. It's not like it hasn't happened before. And Swift, who's the rookie, drops the football. I mean, I can honestly say I feel for that guy because as a football player, you have those feelings like, holy shit, you know, how much emotion, how many family members, how many friends.
Yeah.
You know, you lost it for your team.
That would have been his second career touchdown and a game winner to boot, but it's you gotta flip the page, man.
You gotta flip the page, but the reality is, in this breadbasket, if you will, you gotta catch the football. And what do I always say? I know Claudio, I coached Claudio back in the day.
I was gonna bring it up.
The difference between winning and losing the game is catching and dropping the football.
That's what your dad said, right? Yeah.
It's always been there.
Real quick, everybody that's in the chat, if you look at the bottom of the screen, I know people, I guess, don't enjoy reading, but we'll repeat this.
They pull you on. Pull you on.
If you're having a problem with the stream, it's not an issue on our end. You're most likely streaming to your mobile device. That's where the issue is. It's through most likely you're streaming the YouTube feed through your mobile device. If you can switch your device to a desktop or to a laptop or to your TV or anything like that, there's no issues with the YouTube app update. There's an issue streaming to your mobile device. So that's the cause of it. So everybody's not asking the same question 1,500 times tonight during the show.
Hey, Shayne, there's
also
an issue with the YouTube.
Oh, really? Yeah. Why is Tape Never Lies not out? I think I've answered that question.
You're also going to get that in Patreon. You're going to get technical support from Shayne. All your issues.
Absolutely.
How about this? This is the update, okay? For everyone regarding the NFL All 22. This is from the NFL Network.
You didn't do the breaking news.
No, we don't need breaking news. Well, maybe we do.
You did a whole segment. You made it. It was good.
That's not for that.
Oh.
It's for...
But that is kind of breaking news to a lot of people.
You want the breaking news drop? We got it.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
This is Draft Dr. Phil with breaking news here in the Tape Never Lies Network. You know me as the guy who breaks down the tape. The tape never lies. And fuck a play. Fuck a cap. Fuck any haters. Fuck a blog. Fuck a PFF grade. And I'm making sure I got them all out for everybody that is a hater. Fuck a hater. Fuck a used car salesman, and there you go. Now we have breaking news. The All 22, according to NFL.com, our engineers are aware that the coaches film, Phil, from Sunday are not available yet. They are working on this issue, apparently. Not as hard as Shayne. And we hope, that's what she said. And we hope to have that resolved soon. We apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate your patience. Shayne, did you like how I read that? It's like someone wrote it for me and I could read questions.
Yeah, it was. It's like that 6-hour breaking news update. 6 hours ago, it was breaking news.
Well, it really is, because all day long we have gotten DMs, emails. I'm talking on
All day
Instagram,
long.
Facebook, all day long. So I've texted people that I respect. The reality is no one has the coach's tape. And in order for me to do what I do, I need the coach's tape. It's like a painter. It's like Michelangelo. It's like, what's his name? The Da Vinci. He needed the paints. He needed the colors in order to make the beautiful end result. And that's what I'm going to bring. So hopefully it comes out at some point. If it has to go into the weekend, it will. We will keep you posted because it'll be our inaugural, Shayne.
When we get it, you guys will get it. We will get into the studio and get everything ready. Phil will do his thing, and you guys will love it. I promise. So, hey, Lance Bailey, shit is skipping. Thanks for tuning in 35 seconds ago, Lance. I'll change the banner for Lance Bailey so he can catch up. Lance, in case you're not paying attention, the Bears and Raiders have consummated a deal. The Bears traded for Khalil Mack. In other breaking news.
So we're trying to get the updates all there. It's not, no one's really bothering me. I just, Shayne, cars, everybody. I feel like I've refreshed my phone and the app more times than a Wonder Bread factory. I just keep hitting refresh.
I got a conspiracy. I think Nagy doesn't want to come out.
Someone wrote me that. He's like, Phil, I guarantee Nagy doesn't want you breaking down Charles Leno and company or whatever for the opponent. No, it's going to be there. We're going to get there. And you, the skipping, the hopping, and the jumping on YouTube, Shayne already broke it down. It's under there. It's scrolling. There's an issue. We're going to get it fixed. Now, back to football. I think we took care of that, guys. If you see anybody in the chat that asks about the tape never lies, when's it coming out? Do me the solid and just be like, once the All 22 comes out, my dude, Draft Dr. Phil, is going to fucking nail it. I guarantee you that. I might not be able to do a defense like I promised because it's so late, and then we'll be into the next week and you'll want the next one. But they fucking do this every year.
Yep.
And I'll calm down a little bit. I'm not going to be so hard.
They didn't have any problem taking my $100.
I know. That went through clean and clear.
Whoop, gone. Yeah.
Like, wait, payment? Well, they do have some issue with, like, you've already signed up, but then it asks you to sign up again. Like, I already have my password and code.
Yeah.
It's driving me nuts. So I'm just sticking with my phone. And then,
enough with that.
Let's
get on to the...
You know what I'm saying. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2.
We're there.
Anyway, let's get back to the football game. Before we get JJ in here, obviously we had a big show, surprise pop-up show, that you'll be seeing a lot of those in regards to patronage as we move forward in that. We popped up, we talked about Allen Robinson and the trade and this conspiracy and the stance that he and his agent have chosen to take. Now today, Shayne, do we want to get into the video now and look a little bit of it? You want to talk about it and we'll see it later. It's totally, we have no scripts.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Let's go. Another breaking news drop for Claudio. He's going to love this.
Love it.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Breaking news.
Comments. Yeah, again, I mean, that's pretty personal, but, me and Coach Nagy have a great relationship. As everybody knows.
I heard they have a good relationship, Shayne.
Coming to Chicago, just my belief and, his spirit and, just how he brings it. each and every day. So we had a very good and spirited conversation. Coach Nagy's my guy. I've enjoyed playing for him. And he's been nothing but a great coach.
Hey, Rob, are you frustrated by the pace of negotiations?
What does his face say there?
If so, how do you balance
says
being able to show that and let the world know it without it distracting beyond that?
Yeah, putting yesterday, behind, and moving forward for me, the biggest thing is me focusing on playing, again, which I've been doing, So again, I know it's not going to be a distraction for me. The biggest thing for me is just going out there, trying to play my best, trying to ball out, and keep trying to lead this off. That's things that are, personal that I'll keep to myself, but at the same time, again, we do put our bodies on the line, each and every week.
He was talking about the offer
at the end of the day,
not about the trade.
Not if you want to be traded.
Right.
Like I said,
talking about the offer
playing
first.
Sunday, even I can compartmentalize it, and just kind of, for me, it's just about getting better each and every week, as we get later and later into the season. Just for me watching the film, I thought I played average on Sunday. I know I got a lot more that I could play. I thought I played with too high of pad level. I thought I could have been a little faster at times and play with more game speed. So for me, like I said before, man, I'm keeping it the same thing. Everything is about.
Thought he was going to say keeping it 100.
That's what matters.
Trade talk, at least. Did you ask about a trade, and do you at least expect to finish this season with the Bears?
Yeah, I would say so. Again,
he's not a good poker player. This guy.
So Ryan, I've talked to Coach Nagy. So
pay him.
As far as everything else, we're in the clear with that. And like I said before, again, for me, it's about playing with these guys, playing with these guys in the locker room. Playing for Coach Nagy. Again, that never has really shifted.
Alan, did this just all kind of come to a head for you after week one when you saw? Previously Keenan Allen and DeAndre Hopkins and Cooper Kupp get those extensions, and then you were kind of left without one going into Sunday.
It's a rhetorical question.
I wouldn't say that. I think that again, it's just more in general to that. Like I said before, I'm gonna keep that confident. I am trying to, I'm gonna put all that, behind me, and again, continue to look forward to, we got a game this Sunday. Against a tough Giants team, and that's where I'm focused.
Alan, back to Dion's question about scrubbing your social media. That obviously took some time. It took some motivation. It took some emotion. What was behind that for you?
And, like you said before, again, it took some emotion. Here. At the same time, I think everybody knows how passionate I am about the game. The passion that I've had, for the city of Chicago, and I had the passion that I had, for the city of Chicago. And
is that a Freudian slip there?
Uniform and everything like that, So again, I'm a passionate person. Again, I know I may not show it on the sidelines and stuff like that, but the things that I believe in, I really do believe in. And again, that's just what I think.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
tape never lies.
That's not good.
You saw him
press conference with Allen Robinson and Mitch Trubisky. Be like, yeah, for sure, for sure, Mitch, for sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of that shit going on, as you would say.
A lot of that shit going on. But listen, we talked about it a little bit last night, Phil. This is when he has his leverage.
You could tell.
This is
when our boy,
trying to win.
Alberto.
Yeah,
Alberto.
Yeah, he's trying to win in the court of public opinion. The Bears aren't going to succumb to somebody on Twitter saying Ryan Pace is an idiot. He needs to sign Allen Robinson. He knows who his good players are, currently on the roster. Don't forget, Ryan Pace was the guy that brought him in. Matt Nagy was the guy that picked him out and said, "Yeah, this kid can do everything I want in a wide receiver." He was part of bringing him in that free agent process. This is all about negotiations. It's multi-million-dollar deals. He's going to be pushing very likely up around that $20 million a year mark, and it just is what it is. Greg Gabriel, I think, was one that mentioned it yesterday on Twitter. Got to have a little bit of patience, and it's true. It's true. I get it. I get fired up with it too, but this deal is going to get done. It's going to get. I mean, end of the day, even if it doesn't get done during the season, the Bears have the franchise tag to control the situation if they so need to. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. But I fully expect Allen Robinson is going to be a Chicago Bear moving forward.
Yeah, I could tell the emotion was in there while he was talking.
You want him to care. You don't want him to come out and
Yeah,
be an asshole and standoffish. And it
I was
shows-
surprised that he was on today.
Phil, you and I talked about it literally 25 minutes before the press conference. You're like, no fucking way will they
I
do
don't
that.
think they were going to put
Yeah.
him on. I'm keeping it 100 on this fucking show. I didn't think they were going to put him out there. I thought they were going to pull the old smoking fucking Cutler and he would just bounce. And then, it wouldn't be addressed. That said a lot about the organization's change. It also said a lot to me about him as a football player for this team. It's one thing to speak it. Like, I've been in a locker room and played with guys that I could tell the game is second to getting some fucking girls and money and that kind of shit. Some guys, the game is everything. I think he is a guy that the game is everything. And I think it was very telling that Cooper Kupp and Keenan, them getting deals it's like hurtful because you're really in Chicago, the city that loves football the most. I mean, I don't give a shit how many championships the Bulls have and the Cubs winning. It's a Bears town. It's a football city. It's a gorgeous city. And football is always number one. So he could be the face of your franchise in regards to clearly the best offensive player, in my opinion, right now, that he's that. I mean,
yeah, totally
Anthony
agree.
Miller, if he continues to put these things together, I mean, talk about taking a giant step of consistency, like you said yesterday, of carrying on from where Anthony had left the end of the season. And I'll be the first one to say, listen, I didn't know if he was going to get in the playbook. I didn't know. He went out there and he really stepped up and is becoming something, well, after one game. And this is the other thing I want to address with Anthony Miller, because if you want to respond to this, I don't care if a defensive back goes out hurt. Those are all NFL players out there. So don't let a PFF, a Skip Bayless, a Detroit Lions fan, a Packers fan, a whoever hater of the game of football. Because even in an analytical sense that we do and keep it 100 and we swear and we get fired up, I will always come back to the roots, even if I'm upset with Charles Leno. Charles Leno is still one of the best tackles in the world, figuratively, if you think about it, because he's playing in the National fucking Football League. What Charles puts on tape, I'll criticize, analyze, and get after him to make him a better. That's the example. That's what I'm telling you. So when I say this motherfucker sucks, and I get amped up like that, I'm keeping it 100. I would say it to his face. Anthony Miller had moments last season where he sucked. Didn't know what he was doing. He didn't run hard. Didn't block.
Yeah, he turned it on the last 5 or 6 games, and then
they put him out for.
Yeah, Matt Nagy. Literally, when that happened, I texted Phil immediately, and I'm like, "This is the dumbest fucking idea ever." And he got hurt on it. And I mean, a guy that's got shaky shoulders to begin with, it made no sense. But he was up among the NFL leaders in terms of receptions and yardage for the last 5 weeks, and then you see him come around and have a solid game in week 1. So Anthony Miller, with him, it's all about confidence. When he has his confidence rolling, when he's hype, he's on a different level as a football player, and you can see that. And I expect to see more of that this weekend in Soldier Field versus the Giants.
You got hype?
I got hype coming out of my ass, Phil.
Gotta have that once a show.
Gotta have hype.
Gotta have hype.
Listen, the game of football, I don't care if you've never played or been in a locker room or anything. The game of football starts with an emotional state. You have to be mentally prepared to step on that football field and take the physical punishment. Last week I said soccer players could go later that night and play, and I still stand by that because the sport of soccer could be tiresome, and then you could recoup and play again. Baseball,
Claudio,
same thing. Basketball, same thing. They could do double headers. There's no double headers in football. There's no double headers in boxing. It's the same thing. So it's not a shot. It's just the reality of the truth. And the truth, keeping it 100, is the NFL is a collision sport.
All you soccer heads direct all your fury at Draft
fine.
Dr. Phil.
I did a thesis on this because back in the day...
We needed to have a whole show dedicated to this.
I will not be a part of that one.
Back in the day, someone said, soccer players, they run the whole game. They run. So I said, okay. And I took all of these, what are they? The Spanish League, the European League. I took them all, and then I put it up. When the ball's over there, they're all standing there watching it. Defensemen are watching. Anyway, the reality is I proved that fucking theory wrong, just like I proved the cap. Oh, the cap. Just like I proved get under center with this kid, Shayne.
Yeah.
When I say it 100 times on the tape never lies, get under center with Mitch Trubisky. He's a much better football player. What does that do? That creates a level of trust and a familiarity. It's almost like riding a bike. You get under center. Now his drops, his fundamentals become clean. And then you saw that going down the stretch with a run game. How much does that mean for this guy? How much does it mean?
Look at this guy, Zach. We gotta address that, Zach.
Bears suck ass, barely beat the Lions, and the Lions suck. Okay, thank you, Zach. I heard the same thing about your mother, so we can talk about that later. But anyway,
get him going in the chat. We gotta get this chat room going there.
Yeah, we'll get back to
back to
football.
Well, like I was saying, until Claudio put a Packer fan or whatever. The reality is Mitch Trubisky, under center, Shayne. You saw the fundamentals and the awareness and the game began to slow down for him. So I saw...
Well, yeah, it's not entirely, but yeah, he wants to be there.
Right. I mean, we only could go by the last pages of the chapter you just read.
Yeah.
Those pages told me the opposite of what guys are trying to... It's almost like you're trying to write this kid off. It's like you can't try to write it off. You have to take the tape in. You have to take the performance in. You got to take the situation in. And what I mean by the situation is not just the game. You have to take the situation of COVID, not having training camp, no fans in the stands, what to expect. Guys were gassed. Are they in football shape? It's hard to simulate football shape and do that on that level. So for Mitch to perform like that in the fourth, games on the line, that can't just be excused because they're the Lions and they were down to their second string defensive backs. This is football. This is the fucking NFL. That's horseshit excuses, Claudio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and
everybody, let's say goodbye to Zach. Go ahead, Claudio.
No, I was just gonna say let's bring on our next guest here to talk about this.
Our next guest? It's our first guest, for God's sake. Well, tonight.
Zach was our first guest. Zach was the first guest. That was it.
Zach sucks.
Because the chat room is going crazy on Zach. I love it.
Well, we have a guest. Yes. I love this dude. You heard him in the presser there. In the Allen Robinson tape never lies breaking news. But we do something with all of our guests We bring them on in the Tape Never Lies network way. Let's do it.
You thought Mitchell Trubisky was the only guy heading into year number 4 with the Bears? Think again. Some guys just go through the motions. Some actually want to make a difference. This guy will be donating $1 for every Bears game day tweet he sends out to support the social justice movement.
Shayne, I love that dude, JJ.
Yeah, me too. He's putting his money where his Twitter is.
Just be brutally clear. Zero thought of throwing the football.
Yo.
100 crew, stand up and welcome our friend, but not too loud. He's got twins trying to sleep.
I don't know what you're doing with your little friends, but when you're living in my house, we have rules here.
Who's making his Tape Never Lies network debut. Give it up for JJ Stankevitz.
There he is.
Guys, that was awesome.
JJ, this is what we do for you. You are the man. Thank you for coming on tonight with us.
Speaking of the twins, they are currently asleep.
Look at he's got the monitor.
That's a good dad. That's a good dad.
Yeah, we noticed that's not the all 22 on your monitor because nobody can freaking get it.
No,
today,
no, I can actually get this video.
How frustrating is that for a guy like you?
So I don't know if you guys read the film breakdown that Adam Hogan I did on NBC Sports Chicago.
Yeah.
But so Adam picked the touchdown to Javon Wins, and there's a couple great angles of it on the broadcast. So he was able to really easily break it down, did a great job with it. And I was like, I've been asking about 13 personnel all week with Matt Nagy. I want to do something with Darnell Mooney and his first catch, which came out of 13 personnel. And I'm just like, we got this thing to go up Wednesday morning. It's like Tuesday at 9, and I'm just refreshing that friggin' page.
Exactly.
The All 22 will be available soon, and I'm just like, all right, forget it. I have to do something off of the broadcast because we got to get this post up. I hope it made sense, but it was good with the All 22 because you can see where Mooney, got into his break and absolutely froze Amani Owarie. You could see how effective the 3 tight ends were. You can see it, I hope, a little bit, but man, I don't know if they're ever going to get it up. Maybe okay. Hold on. What?
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Yeah, for sure.
I think I was first on that.
Okay.
The All 22 from week 1 goes up, or Allen Robinson has a new contract.
Yeah. So
that's the question?
Is this on Detroit since they're the home team, or is this just? I mean, this is everywhere, I guess, right?
I told you. I gave you the breaking news. You didn't read?
I wasn't paying attention to your breaking news. I think I was grabbing
JJ, did you see the breaking news, JJ?
What breaking news?
Our engineers are aware that the coach's film, Phil, from Sunday are not available yet. They are working on the issue, and we hope to have that resolved soon. We apologize for the inconvenience.
NFL Game Pass is a really good product, and football being back, we're still in the pandemic, like getting the All 22 out and getting people excited for that, you think would have been like the number one part.
Exactly.
Disappointing that.
So if we miss week 1 All 22, we get to have the wonderful Soldier Field feed of the All 22 to look forward to start off our season.
Chris Conti angle.
Here's a fun fact about that. That's not the angle Matt Nagy looks at.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Here. Like Rich Campbell, who used to work with the Chicago Tribune, showed Matt Nagy the All 22, and he's like, "Is this the angle you get?" Nagy goes, "No." Like,
exactly.
It's the worst. I can't stand it.
It's very difficult. I like the coach's angle from behind because I want to break down the trenches too and see it that way. But the All 22 for the defensive backs and formations, it's disappointing. I was joking. Do you get the fumble? Oops, we fumbled here. Do you get that message?
I think that's what comes through on a mobile device.
Oh,
it says,
okay.
"Whoops,
what I get.
fumbled." Yeah.
Claudio has a Galaxy. He's
Galaxies can't get.
He says, "Go fuck your."
Yeah. Everybody hates on Galaxies. My kids hate on Galaxies. They say it's like it's another.
You gotta upgrade
another
to
level.
to iPhone so you can communicate in a text better. Let's cut him off for a second.
Let's get into some football.
Yes,
We've been
JJ.
waiting a long, long time for it. So, JJ, we got to start it right off at the top here with number 10, the wonderful world of Mitch Trubisky. I think we saw really everything, every angle of Mitch Trubisky, where there's questions, we saw those come up. But then at the end of the game, we saw what we all want him to be in a quarterback. What do you think? What were your emotions just as a guy covering this, seeing what you saw through the first 3 quarters, and then quarter number 4 comes in and he's just on a different level?
Let's all be honest here. We all thought it. We all thought.
Oh yeah.
Was warming up. I Onstead on the Under Center podcast, an episode that came out today, and he said they never were going to do it, but someone was probably thinking it at halftime. Someone in that coaching room was probably like, "Is Nags going to go to Foles? Are we doing this?" Because that's how disjointed the offense was, and it wasn't all Mitch. Mitch's decision making was vastly improved in the first half.
I agree.
And he was good on first down, and then for some bizarre reason, they kept getting in 3rd and long. I don't understand how they could be so good on first and then so bad on 3rd. But then Mitch had some bad throws. The ball to Ted Ginn that Matt Nagy definitely not tipped.
Wasn't even close to being tipped.
And later on in the game, he had that underthrow to Allen Robinson, where it's just let your receiver make a play, and that's a touchdown.
Oh, that was a bad throw, JJ.
I'll say this, guys. Pro Football Focus put out a tweet today that Mitch Trubisky had he was in the top 3 in spectacular throws and the top 3 in worst throws from last week. And I saw that. Yeah, it's about right for what we saw in training camp. He had more spectacular moments than Foles, and he had more you're running out of bounds in a goal line drill moments. So that what we saw against Detroit was, I think, what we're going to get out of Mitch this year. It's going to be a roller coaster, and you're going to get some highs like the 4th quarter. You'd obviously like those highs to be not contained to 1 quarter, which has been kind of a theme for Mitch over the last year and a half. But I think this is what you're going to get out of him. You're going to have some infuriating moments where you're just I don't know what's going on with the offense. Then you're going to get moments where you're that guy looks like the number 2 overall pick. So the good news is that he actually had some of those moments. Last year to start the year, outside of that, the 2nd quarter against Washington, there were none of those moments early on in the year.
Exactly.
Getting some of them to start the year, I think, helps this kid's confidence and helps him kind of move forward with this offense and not feel like he's kind of spinning his wheels.
Let me ask you this. You heard Nagy talk about Mitch, the person, leading up to the game. He was he's not rehearsed. Remember, you were on our other network with us, and we were talking about this shit. And Shayne and I were really doubling down with you, trying to pique your brain, because you're right there from him, talking to this guy. And he seemed to be very much rehearsed in regards to handling the press, handling the role as the, quote, leader of men in the offense. Have you seen that transition, per se, as you've been dealing with him?
I don't know about, reading too much into how he interacts with us.
Right.
Some guys are just robotic by nature when they're in front of a crowd. Obviously, Mitch is not in front of a computer. I don't. And Mitch, when he's in a good mood, Mitch is a great interview. The stuff he said today, coming off the win, was really good. He had some really good things to say about Allen Robinson. Mitch, when he is loose and free because he's playing well, is great. And I don't blame him that, in other instances it seems robotic or it seems controlled or whatever it may be. The one thing about Mitch is that his teammates love him. That is beyond reproach with Mitch. He has every single quality to be a very, very good and effective leader in a locker room, except the consistent ability to play the position he plays. Like everything else for Mitch is stellar. His work ethic, his vocalness, the way that he carries himself, the relationships he builds with teammates across the locker room, it's exemplary. Except his play just has not been there.
Let me ask you this: have you ever seen a moment where he's like, because some quarterback, you have to be a dick, and I hate to say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like where there's a line, you can't just be a nice guy. You have to say, "Get your ass in gear." That's the leadership role. You as a dad, you're gonna have. Someone's gonna have to be the bad cop at some point, and I think that part of Mitch is he learning that he's gonna. You're the guy getting all the heat, Mitch.
He's always had that. I remember talking to Bobby Massey in 2000.
Okay, good.
About Mitch, and asking him about like, hey, what kind of a leader is he? This kid's a rookie quarterback, and I can swear in the show, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, go ahead. You've heard me.
Quote from Bobby Massey. He said this was, I think, after the Cincinnati game, and he said like, yeah, like Mitchell tell us like, hey, shut the fuck up in the huddle. And this was
Nice.
like quarterback, and Massey's like, we were all like, kind of, about to break the huddle, and Mitch goes, no, you don't break the huddle until I break the huddle. And this is rookie Mitch. So, talking to a bunch of veterans who've been in the league and who probably would look down upon someone who's kind of fake.
Yeah.
And Massey was like, no, this stuff's genuine. And those are conversations I've had with Mitch's teammates for the last 3 years. It's just the ability to play quarterback is what's holding him back.
Do you think the veterans didn't speak up in that moment because they knew if Mitch got out of there, they had to bring Mike Glennon back in, JJ?
Week 16, the Jaguars already have a playoff spot locked up. They sit Gardner Minshew, and you know what we got?
Yeah. Mr. Giraffe. I don't even want to talk about that. But hey, let's stay on the same side of the ball and let's talk about this offensive line. And I think a guy that's got to get a game ball is the offensive line coach, and Juan Castillo. I mean, I think Phil and I were texting back and forth during the game, and just something as simple as the aggressiveness that these guys played with was noticeably different. I thought myself, Phil agreed with me. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just saw a different mentality there. And I know how big of a change has Juan Castillo brought to this offensive line.
I think with Castillo, it's not that he's a better offensive line coach than Harry Hiestand. Like, Harry Hiestand's one of the best offensive line in the country. But sometimes just a different voice counts for something. And I think that, Castillo has the same fire that Harry Hiestand has. It's not like he's more energetic or more fiery than Hiestand. But sometimes just like that different voice, like I was saying. And the other part is when you're running more outside zone instead of just like sticking to inside zone, because that's what you do. These guys like that. You can, and you saw James Daniels get into the second level and just mauling dudes. Jermaine Ifedi, I thought, played a good game. And
oh my God, he was great.
There were really only two noticeable plays in pass protection where the offensive line had a miss. There was a Charles Leno right before in one, and then actually that first completion to Darnell Mooney, Cody Whitehair got beat pretty badly by Danny. Mitch still stepped into that throw and ripped it.
Got smacked right in the face.
Yeah, credit to him for that. But otherwise, I liked what the offensive line did. And also the tight ends in the run blocking game. That toss sweep to Cordero Patterson, where you pitched it to the right with Kmet and Harris lined up over there, and they both did a really good job setting the edge and letting Patterson make that one cut and go. Yeah. So it's really a combined thing. It's the offensive line, it's the tight ends, it's the scheme. The good news is that this was a matchup this offensive line should have won against Detroit. Like, Detroit's front is not very good. They got Danny Shelton's good. Trey Flowers is a pretty good player, but their front is not good, especially also after Jamie Collins got ejected with a headbutt.
Oh my
That was
God.
the craziest thing. And screaming about it. That happened. I'm like, what are you yelling about, man? You can't do that.
But
they were trying to say he was reenacting David Montgomery's.
Yeah, dropping the crown of his helmet. Yeah,
crown.
that's they said on the TV feed.
Dude, like, do it to one of your teammates, not the.
Exactly.
I don't.
With the offensive line guys, I think it's kind of along the lines of Mitch. Like, okay, you're playing a team that's got kind of a suboptimal front, but like, got to do it, and he did it. The line did it, and you can carry that now into the rest of the season instead of starting off by getting your ass kicked, and that kind of setting the tone for the rest of the early part of the season.
If we move over to the other side of the ball, JJ, one thing that I think was very noticeable is number 59 wasn't the number 59 that we're all used to. I kind of expect that's where the Giants are going to be focused on this weekend with their tight ends. But are you chalking this up to, his long injury history catching up to him, or do you think it's just a combination of that and the rust and having a crazy offseason? Because I mean that's going to be a big issue moving forward if Danny Trevathan isn't the Danny Trevathan that this Bears team needs. We had Josh Woods on, and I asked him who the leader of this entire team was. I didn't even finish. Danny Trevathan, no doubt about it.
Yep, I've talked to Josh about that.
Yep.
Because I have a ton of respect for Danny Trevathan, and is like you said, he is the leader of this team.
No, it's okay.
The concern I have is not necessarily that he looked slow when it was Marvin Jones or Marvin Hall running across his face. It's that it was with TJ Hawkinson and some of the running backs they had out there. And look, you can be concerned about him guarding Evan Ingram. I'm terrified of him guarding Saquon Barkley.
Sure. And
I think Chuck Pagano made a really good coaching decision in the second half to get Deion Bush on the field in a lot of those plays. But then Nathan was on the field and getting burned by DeAndre Swift on what should have been the game-winning touchdown. So I'll say this. I am willing to give Trevathan the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's such a good football player that this is an instance of the off season where you're not really able to train, you're not able to get in the building, and then training camp where you're not hitting at all. The Bears didn't go live, I don't believe at all, with their number one defense or the number two defense. So these guys just hadn't hit anyone until you got Adrian Peterson running at you, which is not a easy assignment even at AP's age. I'm willing to give Danny the benefit of the doubt through kind of the end of the month of September. And if by week 4, week 5, he's still looking like this, then I'm a little worried that he's a linebacker over the age of 30 who does have that injury history. But for now, he's earned my benefit of the doubt in this case.
When you look at this roster, I mean, what player for you on that defensive side of the football do you think is about at that apex of breaking out for this football team right now in your eye? I mean, you're right there. Again, week 1, it's kind of iffy. Everyone, it's almost like a boxer. Couple first rounds, you're jabbing and you're feeling each other out. Now, for you, is there somebody you think on that defensive side of football we should be getting prepared to hear more about?
I mean, the obvious answer is Roquan Smith, because you're just kind of waiting for that. We've been waiting for that forever.
Right.
Bilal Nichols, I thought, played well, but
he almost had a big sack.
Yeah. He's not Eddie Goldman, though. So kind of how do you balance that? I mean, Jalen Johnson, I thought he only was targeted 6 times, but his coverage was good. I liked what I saw out of him, and he was around the ball a lot.
Yeah.
There's that, obviously the interception that Fuller had, he was right in there. He batted down the final pass of the game, but he also had a near interception guarding Jamal Agnew down by the Lions' goal line.
Yep.
And, that is a really good sign. If you had told me back in April that, one of these two guys, the two rookie corners on these teams, Jeff Okudah and Jalen Johnson, one of them's going to play.
Yep.
The other one's going to be out, and one of them's going to have a pretty good game. I'd be like, well, it's obviously Jeff Okudah.
Yeah.
But it was Jalen Johnson. And, I mean, credit to him. And, the Lions didn't have Kenny Golladay, so you didn't have the doomsday matchup of him being on Golladay or Marvin Jones all game. But again, like, you're just getting your feet wet in the NFL. There's a lot of confidence Jalen Johnson can take from this game, a lot of swag that he can bring now to this matchup against the Giants and then going forward.
JJ, you expect them to get a guy like Mario Edwards rolling this week and see him active Sunday versus the Giants? Because I think he's not a guy that's a standout, but he's a good rotational piece and a very, very solid defensive lineman that I think can actually upgrade this defensive line. And do you think they'll get him rolling this week?
Potentially. I mean, it depends on if he's able to pick up what Jay Rodgers wants him to learn. Jay Rodgers trusts Brent Urban to play a bunch of different techniques on the line, which is kind of what you need to do to play D-line for the Bears under Jay Rodgers, is just be versatile. So if Mario Edwards has picked that up, then he can go in there. But I think we're kind of talking about the fourth or fifth, defensive lineman coming in here, with him and John Jenkins.
When the Bears made their final cuts to the roster, was there anybody on there that you were surprised that didn't make that 53?
Yeah, Phil, I mean, I think like Kevin Tolliver, but then I looked at stuff that they were saying about Kevin Tolliver, and I looked through my notes from practice, and I was like, that's not a surprise.
Really?
They gave Kevin Tolliver every opportunity to go lock down a starting job before Jalen Johnson got back on the field. And instead of it, Kevin Tolliver proved to them not only he's not worthy of a starting job, he's not worthy of a spot on their practice squad. That is how much this slipped. And, Deshae Townsend, when we asked him about Tolliver and if he could start back in August, he basically said that's up to Kevin. So there is
says a lot
going on.
That says a lot.
They were not too happy with how Kevin Tolliver was handling some of the mental aspects of the game.
Well, I mean, they brought Artie Burns in and put him out there ahead of Kevin Tolliver, so I think that's
they put Green out as an outside corner instead of Kevin Tolliver. That's where they were.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was a surprise. But listen, I always say this as I'm analyzing the tape. You can't simulate. We don't know what's going on with the person mentally and how they handle themselves. I mean, you were part of the whole Roquan Smith thing last year with personal reasons. We didn't know. All we knew as analysts and fans was we wanted Roquan out there, and it was important. But the personal side, the mental aspect of it is completely different. But let me ask you this. How big, I know you mentioned that at the top, how big were the tight ends moving forward in this offense as you saw it on Sunday?
I mean, they were huge. And I know you look at the pass game production and it wasn't very good. 3 catches, 25 yards from Jimmy Graham and a touchdown. But what Matt Nagy was able to do with his offense, because Demetrius Harris is an NFL tight end, because Cole Kmet and Jimmy Graham is an NFL tight end, was finally create some mismatches. Mm-hmm. And the tight end position is one that Matt Nagy refers to as an adjuster. And, you get that, I love that 13 personnel package that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get, and also that's an easy check for Trubisky. You get to the line, you look at the defense. Are they in sub or are they in base? If they're in sub, we can probably run it here. If they're in base, all right, we're throwing it. That is an easy check at the line.
You just can't miss Harris in the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, yeah. But, I look at that play to Darnell Mooney, and, they basically gave him one read on that play. And Mooney said, when the play was called, I knew it was coming to me. Because the play was going to work. It was play action to Cohen, and, Mooney puts on the brakes in a max protect concept instead of going deep. Awaria has no chance to put on the brakes. And Awaria, by the way, there was deep safety help over the top there. So that is what, Mooney's speed can do when you throw him out there with 3 tight ends, is defenses have to respect it already.
Right.
And I also, some of the stuff they're able to do running the ball out of 12 and 13 personnel was really, really encouraging. The offense just felt completely different. And guys, you know, if you've paid any attention to, you know, what I've been saying for the last 9 months now, it's that there is an untapped portion of Matt Nagy's scheme that we have not seen. And that's with 12 personnel, with heavier packages, because he wasn't putting Adam Shaheen out there just to get 12 personnel. You got to be able to play. And Cole Kmet and Demetrius Harris can play. So that opens up this part of the playbook that the Eagles use so much, that the Chiefs use so much. And I think you're seeing the Bears use it.
How big of an impact do you think Mooney's going to be? I mean, there's a lot of hype about this kid. So talk about Mooney. I know I'm kind of echoing on your end.
I give it an over-under of, you know what, we'll say by the end of the Thursday night game against the Buccaneers, Darnell Mooney will be taking more snaps than Ted Ginn Jr. That's the starting point for me. And sorry that there's an echo. I'm in my basement, and I actually couldn't find any headphones.
That's
iPhone.
That's the only. It's okay.
In the basement, and we're echoing because this work from home. So,
Perfect.
But you know, Darnell Mooney, the speed aspect is one thing. I'm curious how he holds up over the season, though. He's a smaller guy, and he can do one thing really well, and that's run. But the flip side is everything we've heard from coaches and teammates about him is that he is an incredible pro. Like, this dude, Mike Fury referred to him as it's like he's a 5-year veteran. Matt Nagy said his demeanor is like A-Rob's demeanor. And that gives me a lot of encouragement that Darnell Mooney is going to make an impact. I'm not going to say he's going to have 50 catches for, 700 yards or anything, but make an impact in this offense and allowing the Bears to do some different things would be an absolute home run for a 5th-round receiver out of Tulane.
Well, I didn't know if you want me.
How much confidence do you think there is in Cairo Santos being the guy to legitimately have a shot moving forward with Eddie on IR? I know it's going to be at least 3 weeks, but I'm not going to give him too much props for kicking in Detroit. Get him in here in Chicago and see how that plays out. But where do you think their confidence is in him actually being able to unseat Pinheiro?
That's a good question. I'd like to see Matt Nagy have confidence in a kicker to hit a 52 kick at some point. Santos had one stint here in Chicago earlier. He didn't really kick at Soldier Field because he had that injury before the Niners game in 2017. The Bears know what Pinheiro can do, but the injuries are kind of a concern. This is now 3 years in a row he's had some injury issue, dating back to when he went on IR with the Raiders with the groin, then the calf last year with the Bears, now the groin again. That is a concern if he can't stay healthy. But it's also not like Cairo Santos is one of the best kickers in the NFL who has a strong leg, who can beat out Eddie Pinheiro. Cairo Santos was last seen before coming to Chicago, missing 4 field goals in Tennessee. So, I mean, you're absolutely right. He's got to prove it. He can kick at Soldier Field and do that over the course of some games. I think the Bears still would prefer Eddie Pinheiro, but, he's got to get healthy first. He's got to be able to trust that the groin isn't going to act up during a game, and all of a sudden you're left without a kicker on your roster. So that's part of the calculus too. I think Pinheiro has to be 100% beyond the groin injury before he even becomes an option for the Bears.
This guy steals my question because I'm like, oh my God. I feel a lot more comfortable with Santos for some reason. I wasn't nervous. You know how the Bears needed that extra point to give it a 4-point lead. Granted, Swift fucking drops the ball. But the reality is you force them to score a touchdown. They shouldn't drive all the way down there. I felt confident. Dude buries it. Do you see the Bears going back to Pinheiro? Or is it going to be Cairo?
I think I still do see the Bears going back to Pinheiro. But again, dependent on his injury status. Santos, okay, cool. He can hit some PATs and some short field goals at Ford Field. Again, let's this is a discussion that I'm sure you guys are going to be having on the Tape Doesn't Lie next week about, hey, what did Santos do at Soldier Field? Good or bad, whatever it is. It's not going to be a super warm day next week. It's going to be or this weekend. It's going to be in probably the low 60s, upper 50s, like good Chicago fall weather. I don't know if it's going to be windy or not, but yeah, I mean, Santos has to prove a lot still to really, truly unseat Eddie Pinheiro from this roster.
JJ, with Quinn being limited today, I mean, that obviously, going back to free agency when they invested all of that money in him, I understood I wanted them to upgrade, their pass rush. I didn't think that they would do it to the level that the financial commitment that they gave to Quinn. But do you think that they're going to get him with him being limited, or you think they're going to be ultra cautious just to kind of test it out and see where they're at, and they have no issue at all sitting him down to keep him, to get him back to 100%? Because we see how last year not having the Robin to Khalil Mack's Batman, how much it can affect him. And I mean, that the worst thing in the world that could happen is for them to rush him back, and he goes out there and tweaks that again, and then it's the Khalil Mack show, because Gibson is obviously not ready for that role. And I think that's one thing that's, to me, that gives me a lot of pause. I want to see him out there across from Mack, but at the same time, to me, he's got to be 100% before I'm putting him out there.
So the fact that the Bears didn't put Quinn on IR before the game told me that this is a 3-week max absence. Like, he's either back this week against the Giants or next week against the Falcons. It won't go beyond that. Because if it were, then they would have put him on IR and they would have, called up another body onto the active roster. So I'm not worried about this extending deep into the season. And I will say the Bears are a team that is pretty good about when a guy has an injury, they wait until he's cleared and then they go. It's not, he's 75%. He wants to give it a go. Let it. It's like Andre Tucker's being like, you're on the bench. That is what it is. And I think that is a good thing here, because you can beat the Giants without Robert Quinn. I mean, you better be able to.
Sure. Yeah, they better be.
You should probably be able to beat the Giants without Khalil Mack, but, he should be on Sunday. I think, Matt Nagy has done this in the past, right, with Khalil, where he sat him out against the Jets and the Bills in 2018 of like, all right, we tried it against the Patriots. It didn't work. Now you're going to sit again 2 games that we are going to win, and then you're back for that stretch in the division. The games we really need to win. I think that might be a similar calculus with Quinn here, but also if Quinn, by the time Friday rolls around, if he's they're not going to hold him back. As soon as he's cleared, he's going to, and that will be a very fun day for the Bears defense and Khalil Mack when you actually got someone who can rush the passer. First time in his career.
Absolutely.
I know Khalil is hoping for some help from the other side. He hasn't gotten it since he's been here with Leonard Floyd. I had sent something to you, and I was, there's speculation that he won't play at all, and that rumor, and you just deaded that bullshit out the back.
Well, and I get it, because when this is what happens when your coach is very secretive about this stuff. Mm-hmm. It allows for rumors like that to catch some fire. And I'll be honest, before today, I didn't know what Robert Quinn's status was. It was a guess. If Robert Quinn came out today and he wasn't participating, I would have been like, all right, guess this is a bigger deal than I might have thought it was. But that he was is sort of like, all right, he's going to be okay. But I go back to the IR thing. If this were a more serious injury, he would have been on IR, and the Bears would have found a use for his roster spot. So that he wasn't on IR, I was always kind of skeptical of anything that was making too big of a deal about this. But hey, anytime the guy you gave $30 million guaranteed missed the game to start the season because he's not healthy, that is a big deal.
Absolutely. I know you have the Twins and everything, and I don't want to keep you too long. I got one question, then a favor. Shayne, do you have another question?
No, I'm good. Go ahead. Go ahead with yours.
So, you're around Matt Nagy. Do you feel like the pressure to win now is there on him? Or is he because I know he's been very transparent with what he's learned and how he's got to attack this differently now. So do you feel that difference when you're dealing with him differently now?
I mean, yeah, the injury thing is a complete 180 from where he's been in years past. That was a surprise because Matt Nagy has been as transparent as any coach would be, within reason, obviously, about guys who are injured. You know, it's like he wasn't like in 2018, he wasn't telling us Khalil's not going to play, but you read between the lines, it was Khalil wasn't going to play in those games against the Jets and the Bills. And even something as simple as like Bilal Nichols getting, being limited whenever the Bears practiced indoors. Like that was helpful information that Matt Nagy gave us, and I don't think would give us that information now. And it's, I think it's all part of this like self-scout that Nagy did in the offseason, where he now is just I'm doing everything I possibly can to win, which on one hand is commendable. On the other hand, it's like, well, if you're going to this extent, how desperate are you? Are you at the point where you're worried for your job? And I don't think that's the case, because Matt Nagy shouldn't worry for his job. Like, unless they go 2-14, Matt Nagy's going to be back as the Bears head coach next year. As well, he should be, by the way, because this franchise should not be in the business of firing coaches who have 20 wins in their first 2 years after the third year. This is the Chicago Bears we're talking about. Yeah. I don't mean to, I kind of do mean to denigrate them, but this is a team that doesn't do a lot of winning. And you're not going to fire the coach who has done more winning to start his career than everyone but Lovie Smith. Like, it's not going to happen. So that is part of the deal here, too, with Nagy. Like, he has the pressure to win because he's an ultra-competitive person. But I don't think he has the pressure to win because he's really worried about his job. I also think that ultra-competitiveness maybe has taken him to go a little too far with some of the tactics that he is deciding to use. But far be it for me to criticize him. He's the head coach, and he gets to tell us whatever he wants about injuries. If he wants to go the box route, he can go the box route.
Well, listen, you are tremendous. I know people are texting. JJ doesn't have headsets, so I'm coming through a speaker, and then it comes back. That's why you hear the echo. That's the only reason why. So it's not your stream. It's just that little issue there. So I'm going to ask you one favor. I'm going to isolate on JJ. Can you do us a solid station ID?
Yeah.
You're going to say, however you want, this is JJ Stankevitz. You're listening. Let me get this banner down. Claude or Shayne has up. There we go. It's JJ Stankevitz. You're listening to my guys, the smartest man, Shayne, and the draft Dr. Phil on the Tape Never Lies Network.
It's giving you a long one.
Well, maybe something shorter. But we have to mute our mics, Shayne, because you talk and we echo. So you count it down in your head when you're ready to go.
Okay. I'm JJ Stankevitz here for the Tape Doesn't Live.
Tape.
Woo!
I feel your pain, man.
I was reading the word live. Okay.
The tape never lies, not doesn't lie. Never Lies Network.
Right. Okay.
I don't want you to get beaten up by the crowd, the 100 crew.
I don't want to be. Okay, here we go. I'm JJ Stankevitz, and you are listening to Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man alive, Shayne Marsaw, on the Tape Never Lies. Ooh, boy. Okay. I'm really sorry. It's been a long day.
Take another sip. You
I
could
love
say
how this is live, by the way.
We're keeping it 100.
Our podcast reads, it's just, our producer extraordinaire Tony Gill can cut it out. Okay. Remind me what you want me to say again.
How about we do this? This is JJ Stankevitz. I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. Is that easy?
That's perfect. I'm JJ Stankevitz, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Dude, there you go. There you go.
Took 3 tries. Hey, when we had the Sprinkler Fitters sponsorship on the Under Center podcast, I could recite that thing in my sleep to the point where my wife could actually recite the ad. So, giving me new ads here to read. I got a new one. We're sponsored by St. Xavier University, the fine folks over there now. So I almost have that one down.
It's better than the Lawnmower 300 that Hogan Johns read every break, right?
Yeah, but they get to have fun with that. You know, the Hallis Intrigue guys always have fun with their Plumbers 911 transitions. So something to shoot for. I feel like I do a really good job transitioning into the My Teams app read.
Yep.
I think I've kind of carved out a little niche doing that to the point where I know I've done a good job if I make my co-host Cam Ellis laugh. kind of like trying to take my cues from Jason Benetti and Steve Stone.
Well, you are a true professional.
Do you want to give him a little play out music, Phil?
Oh, I
we have a little surprise for you here,
I thought
JJ.
I had it, Shayne.
Oh, you don't have it?
I thought I uploaded it, and I totally
Okay.
didn't. It should be on my phone.
Yeah, we can email it to him. We can email it. We got a little surprise for you, JJ.
All right.
I have a copy
of
the
I had-
R.W.
The
McCorder
R.W.
song for
McCorder
you.
song!
Yes.
Didn't you send it to me, though? It should be on
I
my
did.
phone.
Yeah, I did.
I'm pissed.
Shane, that got me through like the early days of quarantine.
Well, it was funny, JJ. You had it on one of your podcasts you're talking about. I was driving down the road, and then I'm like, oh, that was my name. And I listened, and that was the day that Phil and I got fired from Barroom. So it was, I'm like, yes, JJ talked about me. Oh, I just got fired.
Hey, at least something good came out of that.
Yeah, right.
We didn't get fired.
No, we didn't get fired, but.
Oh God,
Phil, I'm retexting it to you right now.
Yeah, just text it because he deserves a little. First of all, this guy is I'm not blowing smoke. There's people that are just good people, and you want to see the best for them, and that's JJ because he's not one of these pompous ass nose up in the air media types that think their shit don't stink. He's a good person. He's not afraid to freaking retweet or promote you and come on a show when he's tired. He's got twins. And I would say this. I was going to say this when you were off the air. But just like this fan, Chris Sandlin saying here, I love JJ too. He's a great host. JJ, where could they find you while Shayne's texting me this song?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at JJ Stankevitz. That's where I spend way too much of my time. And you can read all of my stuff on NBCSportsChicago.com. You can read me on the My Teams app, and you can listen to me on the Under Center podcast. Cam Ellis and I have a lot of fun with that. We got David Kaplan joining us now after every Bears game. This latest episode, Cam and I did a deep dive into the Allen Robinson stuff. We got Dave Wanstead on the back end. By the way, something Wani said on the pod about Matt Patricia, why he switched from zone to man, made so much sense. And it's not a bad thing for Matt Patricia. So I'd encourage everyone to listen to that who was kind of laughing at, I can't believe Patricia did that. Because I was one of those people until Wani kind of educated me on it.
Nice.
We had a lot of fun on that podcast, and I have a lot of fun on your guys' show. I'm glad to be back.
Yes, you're back. You're keeping it 100. I still never got the song, Shayne. Did you
I
send
don't
it?
know why it's not going, but either way, JJ,
I'll get it for you. When you
I'll
return,
email it to you. Yeah, I'll email it to you so you can have a copy of it.
I might actually be able to find my my earbuds.
Yes.
Because it's so I got this work computer that I can't get my really nice headphones to work with.
Yep.
And I can't find the stupid dongle for my iPhone to connect this stupid cord.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So I was just down here for 10 minutes before coming on being like, all right, I guess I just got to go ahead with my phone.
If I only could reach this through.
I think it just went through. Phil.
Did it go through? Not yet. Let me What do they call this in the biz? We're delaying a little bit. It hasn't came on my end, but that's what she said. I want to say this one more thing. Shout out to JJ. I hope you and your family are there. We're gonna play you out with a little of this.
Hey, from one twin dad to another. Thank you.
That's right.
You ready for this? Can I see a little shoulder shake when you hear this beat? I didn't know this was that long.
Chicago Bears, y'all.
R-Dub.
About to do this again. Chain, bring it back home. We spread it up for y'all.
So this one's going out to JJ Stankevitz from NBC Sports Chicago.
We're back on top, giving it to you live on the remix of the Super Bowl Shuffle from '85.
Not quite.
Sorry guys, we're on the road from Platteville to New Orleans back to Chicago. Started out slow with our backs against the wall, about to bring another title back to Hallis Hall. And now the whole world is jealous, y'all. Wonder how we got it together and didn't even fall. Had a couple of bumps, but we kept our pace after everybody
R.W. McQuarters and JJ Stankevitz. You'll be together forever. You'll be synonymous like that.
Hey, can I just get one last word in?
Absolutely.
R.W. McQuarters had a more successful rap career than Josh Bellamy.
Yes.
Oh, my. You brought us on.
Are you going to do the Josh Bellamy expose?
Oh, my
Coming up
No,
God.
the U.S. Department of Justice did it for me.
I go, he couldn't catch shit on the field, but the feds could catch him. That's the difference. Thank God our government caught him, because that is the most disgusting thing. I mean,
It's
keep
not
it 100.
funny, but it's also like kind of funny.
Yeah.
The only thing he caught was a case.
I mean, I was
There
also
you
going to
go.
go, hey, he's got 14 career drops. He really needs a 15th here.
There you go. It's Josh Bellamy Jokes with JJ
What
Stankevitz
better
and
way
Draft
to
Dr.
end
Phil.
this? Thanks, guys.
Dude,
Thanks
we
for
love
coming,
you.
JJ.
Thank you for
All right.
coming on, man.
Be well.
You're great.
Check your email and I'll get you that song.
I can't wait.
And I'll send you your intro because I want you to play it for your wife.
It's hilarious.
Thanks, JJ.
All right, brother. JJ Stankevitz, Claudio. What are your thoughts?
That was awesome. I'm actually happy he messed up a couple times. So that way, I don't feel too bad if later on there's some issues.
Yeah, we got a new segment tonight.
Right.
Later in the show, Claudio's been nervous like 8th grade boy at the dance. Is someone gonna? Are you that guy that would go up and ask somebody to dance, or are you the guy that would basically wait for someone to ask you to dance, Claudio? Were you?
I don't know. I didn't go to too
standing-
many dances, so I don't know. I didn't partake in that too much.
Someone was supposed to tell this guy in the chat.
Yeah, everybody in the chat is going crazy about the tape never lied. I think you got to address it again because some people are coming on late. They're saying they have issues at home and they excuses.
Listen,
so they're
let's
coming on
go
late.
back onto me. Let
Yeah,
me
there
go
you go.
back onto me. This is Draft Dr. Phil. You know me over my shoulder. Wait, this one. The tape never lies. The all 22 that I use to create, those are the paints. I need that. The NFL has an issue. And I'm going to put it up again, Shayne. The issue seems to be their servers. And I promised my buddy, who may or may not have been the first guest on this show, that I wouldn't be too hard on the NFL tonight. So they're engineers. And thank you, Cody Rourke. I hope your Fantasy Island son, Mr. Rourke's son over here. The engineers are working on it. They apologize for the inconvenience. I've refreshed this app, I don't know, 1,000 times to see if it's taunting me. It's haunting me. My wife, I woke up at 5 in the morning to piss. I looked at the app to see if it was there so I could get started on this. Believe me, it's coming as soon as that comes to us to use. That's what she said. So the tape never lies. I'm waiting for that, and then our first episode of the tape never lies. A big heavy dose of Mitch, the offensive line, and the passing game. The offense will be the first installment on the new network, and we'll bring it right out to you, and hopefully you share it, and really go over to our YouTube channel, subscribe, because that's where it's going to be released. Our YouTube channel right here. YouTube.com, see The Tape Never Lies, or search The Tape Never Lies Network. If you're watching it there right now, live here, Keeping It 100. We're keeping it 100 on the Chi-City Sports Network.
Yeah, I know that lady.
Yes. It's Shayne's wife, supposedly. It's amazing. JJ Stankevitz, though, real quick. What a great person, a great guy. And really, I mean that thoroughly.
Yeah.
I thought I saw our boy, one of the 100 crew, EJ Jones, say he's balanced, he's fair.
Yep.
He asks the questions that you really want to hear. And that's really where I am with him. And I really believe that he's that kind of person that covers this game and this team. We always thought that we needed that. We needed somebody in the media. We've confronted Mark Grody, and he's done a 180. He's our boy. And JJ has really stepped up in the pocket and truly delivered. I mean that thoroughly and honestly. So, Shayne, I know the tape never lies is right here on my shirt. Look at that. We're going to get swag. I see people asking. Yes, that's coming soon. Let me bring Shayne over here. Are we moving on to our next person?
Well, I was slacking. I just...
Oh, you slack me.
Or
And
not slacked him.
We don't fucking slack.
No, I was
Slack
just
is
texted him.
Slackers. Don't be a slacker.
No, but you're right, man, about JJ. He gets it. He knows how to chop it up. He's not going to bullshit. He's not going to give you just the standard answers. I mean, you heard him talk about, he wanted to throw some shade at the Bears. Yeah, Chubb's had in there that they're the winningest franchise in the NFL. Yeah, that's true. Well, how much winning have they done in your lifetime, Chubbs? I'm a lot older than Chubbs, I'm sure, and they haven't done much winning in my lifetime. That's all of the drama, all of the negativity that surrounds this franchise. The magic elixir is winning consistently. That's going to cure a lot of the problems around this franchise. I mean, we live and die with it. You know that the Bears are good when, as a fan, you have that swagger when you say to yourself, no, we're going to go out there and I know we're going to win. We need to get back to that as a fan base, believing in this team that they can do that. That's where I want to be. And it's just with that inconsistency with this team, it's hard to have that. It's just hard to have that. I mean, hopefully these guys get everything squared away and figured out, because there is a lot of talent on this team. I think there's a lot of underrated talent on this team.
I fixed it, Shayne. I was you for a second.
Chuck wants to know how old you are.
I am 44.
All right.
Shayne is 44.
I'm doing my job.
Nick Kwiatkowski years.
That's right.
We don't have a 44.
We should have a 44.
We do it. I don't know. I love the number 44. I love it on a fullback or a
It's my son's favorite number.
Is it?
Yeah, 44.
Do you know my favorite number?
I do. Half that.
Exactly. 22.
Yeah.
Now, when I was 22, I met...
I think that's what Claudio got on his final exam in English in high school, right, Claudio?
I don't know. I wasn't there for that. I don't know.
More on Claudio's career.
No, speaking of people that failed English in high school,
exactly.
Phil, we have somebody here. Hey, he's got a nice little logo over his head.
Look at him. You were supposed to wait for me to intro him. I'm setting this up.
He doesn't need an intro.
Yes, he does. every week I was setting it up. When I was 22 years old, I used to go on a message board, and I met this guy. Cars!
What's going
on? Cars, keys, cars. We're all in the house tonight. The whole cast. A victory week as we get ready for the Giants and hopefully have these your cousins, your brethren, the nerds at NFL Network to fix, or NFL.com to fix the all 22 cars.
I don't know if you guys have reported this or not, but the all 22 is not working. Has anyone heard this yet? I don't know.
I've been trying to figure out why my YouTube feed on my phone is skipping cars.
Oh, jeez.
You having the same problem?
Did you plug it in and unplug
Look at
it?
that. Look at that.
Wow, that is
Look at that.
impressive.
I've been waiting for this moment.
You got to show
Everyone
that to Steph
smile.
cars. She's gonna. You might get lucky tonight now that you got your own little lower third there. It's gonna drive the wife crazy.
Everyone
definitely makes it look official.
Everyone take a look at the camera and give us a smile. This is the first time ever. The cast with the cartoons. There you go.
Should we sit like this? Stand like they're standing?
I can't fold that. If you want me to fold my arms, I'd be yelling at my children. I think that's the way I've got to do it.
We're officially here every week, Wednesdays, keeping it 100. Cars, you can follow him at Bears Nerd right there on his lower third. He's also going to be on the show every week, bringing an analysis, an analytical.
Show him that antique glass, Cars.
I mean, I will always be here with my boy Walter, right? We're going to always, this is the way we do this.
And that's not Poland Spring he's drinking.
No, it's my buddy Tito with my buddy Walter, and we're just going to roll with it week
Is
in
it just
and week
straight
out.
Tito's? You don't go a little diet?
Little splash of Sprite, and we're good to go.
Okay.
Just a splash.
I go with the Tito's and diet because I try to be keto, Tito.
I'm not trying to count calories. You know.
He doesn't want to dump it on his Raiders jersey that he borrowed from his friend Grid back in the day.
It's actually my Lance Allworth jersey in the chart. Come on.
God, that's a blast from the past.
So JJ was on. He was talking about 13 personnel. I know you were excited about. You were really keeping track. Even throughout the game with me, this guy was keeping me totally abreast of what they were doing with their personnel and cars. You got to be excited about what you saw in the first game. I'll take this off for you.
I loved it. I know we talked a lot about Juan Castillo. I don't think we talked enough about Laser because we saw a lot of concepts that he put in Cincy. And Cincy had no talent at wide receiver, and they found a way to run the ball. So that ability to pop in out of 11 into 12, 13, and kind of be really kind of in and out of formations all game long, that was the most fun I've had for a while watching a team, just from the steps of like, we're not going to line up Cohen in the slot 14 plays in a row and hope we get a mismatch, right? Like we created mismatches for the first time. That end zone play to Graham, that was a great mismatch play that we took advantage of. And I mean, yeah, it was ugly. It was messy. It was terrible, but there was a lot of fun to have in that game overall.
Yeah, when you look at this football team, you didn't know what to expect.
Nothing, yeah.
And you have a coach that has been up and down, not only in situational football, where I'm very harsh on the guy, and you've seen it in personnel usage. Tonight you had JJ talking about probably some of the handicaps and issues that Nagy had with obviously deadbeat Shayne and Trey Burton and the whole not having the tight end. So seeing Demetrius Harris.
Don't you dare say Deion Sims. Don't you dare bring up that name in this podcast.
Deion. I almost called him Deion Harris. But seeing him, Demetrius Harris, Komet, and obviously Jimmy Graham early on had me nervous because of the mistimed jumps. And I thought he would have had, if you look at it, he would have had a big game.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was crushed about that. He admitted it.
Oh, did he? Because I didn't.
Jimmy Graham did. Oh yeah, he did.
He thought it set that if they would have lost, he was going to firmly blame that loss on on that play. Absolutely.
I'm so fucking proud of him because I didn't see that. Because I'll tell you what, as a football person, I'll say this. The fucking momentum in a game, in a play. You can't just say catching and dropping the football is the difference in the games and not realize those moments early on in the game set the whole fucking tone. The whole precedence of confidence becomes in those moments. And it was unfortunate. I'm very freaking happy because I didn't know that Jimmy Graham went out there and admitted that he felt that way. That's important to hear that.
Well, and to your point, last season, what happened, right? Like one of those bad plays became 2, became 3, right? Like we couldn't dig out of the hole that was created out of those, and it was a nice change of pace. That for once, it kind of felt like we forgot about those things and kept trying and kept going and doing that. It was nice to see.
Yeah, it really was. And then you got to see Anthony Miller take a big step.
Huge.
Carrying on from where he left off. Obviously, Allen Robinson with the drama that's going on that you saw. We put it in the open, and obviously everyone knows about it. Me and you and Shayne were exchanging and talking about the distraction.
Right.
And really, as this team's 1-0, Mitch took that step, whether that is going to be, the first chapter in his career, it could be, or it could be a glimpse, and it goes to shit from there. We don't know. But having these receiver talents, Allen Robinson really played his ass off as well today, Sunday.
I mean, that grab that was, in almost triple coverage, right, where he just fingertip caught that ball. That a year ago you missed that play, right? And this is done. That play cannot be understated. And I know you guys were talking about it too, but how big is it that when they go 13 personnel, it's Mooney that's the wide receiver in 13 personnel. You've got a 5th-round rookie that you're allowing to be the only wide receiver, and he catches a ball.
We have.
Yeah, and he catches a ball in the flat, makes a nice little move, and goes. Like this is probably speed kills, and so does that little juke ability. And this is probably the best skill position wise. You can argue top talent versus like Alshon Marshall, right? Like those guys are probably overall there, but from like 1 to 8 skill wise, we're a completely different team than we were.
Yeah, we have to be with my boy Ridley on the. He's not even active.
Well, you look at that. You look at the explosiveness of Mooney, but I think another separator with him is just like with Jalen Johnson, and I think this is something that the Bears have kind of zeroed in on, and this isn't something that you can really measure. This is probably something that came across in their Zoom meetings with these guys as prospects, is there is a whole bunch of attitude with these guys, and I mean attitude in a good way. They talked to Darnell Mooney about his first game, and they're like, how are you? He's like, didn't have any.
Yeah. And you believe it.
Yeah.
It's not a talk point.
Yeah, he's not
like,
just
that's
talking.
it.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I didn't have any. He's like, they brought me here for a reason. I showed them what I could do in camp, and that's what I'm going to do. You hear that. You hear Jalen Johnson. Even I go back to that little clip with Cole Kmet walking up to Nagy and punching him in the chest. That just shows that these guys, they get it.
Yep.
They get their roles. Nothing is too big for them. And that right there is something to get excited about, because something all of us know as Bears fans repeatedly. Remember back to in like 1999, everybody was, Marcus Robinson is going to be the next. It was one guy. There was literally nobody else for us to get excited about. You know what I mean? There was
or the
one.
Devin Aroma should do. We end this.
Yes. You get one guy, and you're like, we got.
You got a room full of talent. Yep. There's no doubt about it. I know we've talked a lot about it, but I want to ask you guys, let's take a look forward. I mean, before we go into anything, because I want to get into our next segment, but I really want to, before we go into our next segment, Bear Up, Bear Down with Cars and Claudio. We'll even let Claudio play the game and you guys at home. We haven't brought it out yet. We haven't had a game to do it. Let's talk a little bit about the Giants. What are your feelings? Is this a bad football team? Is this that trap game? You're coming off a win. How do you feel, Cars, looking at this Giants football team and the Bears attacking them?
So it's twofold. One, it's always a pleasure as a person who's not a fan of his teams to watch Jason Garrett call a football game. I think that plays huge dividends for us. That the play calls, if you watch that game, basically if they're taking a snap from under center, they're running the ball. If they're in shotgun, they're passing the ball with like 95+% consistency. It was terrible. This is a classic trap game. We've fallen for it before. They're not a very talented team. They're pretty solid on the edge. Their interior line is terrible. Their linebackers are terrible. Benny Snell made them look terrible. And that's probably way too much use of that word. But it's a classic trap game, but they have no offensive line and they can't stop the run. So, those two things leading me to believe that there'll be some success. The Bears' biggest struggle defensively was the 21, Adrian Peterson behind a fullback. New York doesn't run that. So I think there are some advantages, but the ultimate player in Saquon does scare the crap out of me right now.
Yeah, I really want to see how Danny T comes out with Saquon, and I really think all eyes on him for me, because this guy is, he's been the consummate pro. You have to wonder, is this guy, coming off a whole COVID thing and wasn't physically ready and needed those preseason reps to the extent at being a veteran, those legs. I've been in a game in the beginning part, your legs feel like goddamn rubber. You're what the hell? I can't get my legs under me. And then after a while, but Danny listen, we were changing tag every third down. They're fucking running shallow cross right across to Danny, putting him in it. And even with the fucking game winner, it was Danny
Trevathan. Have been on the
Trevathan.
field.
He shouldn't have been. That was a Pagano error early on. I said it right away. After the fucking play before that, you had, what's his name?
I think
on
receiver, something like
the receiver.
I do think on something like that, when you're talking about Danny Trevathan, I think he's the classic type of guy that goes to Pagano and tells him, I'm ready to go. I'm feeling better. He's going to listen to his vet guy, put him out there and kind of, he's going to believe in him.
Right.
And, like JJ said, it said a lot to me when Josh Woods, literally, I didn't have the sentence out of my mouth. And, I'm a little leery because Danny does have that long injury history, but
and lower leg injuries at that. Yes.
Yep, exactly. But I think he can have the ability to bounce back, because we just don't know how any of these guys are going to react with such a crazy offseason like none of us have ever seen before. So I think you got to give the vet guy, like JJ said, the benefit of the doubt.
I do wonder if what you'll start to see is more like when Bush comes out, where Gibson is playing kind of this hybrid linebacker safety role to kind of fit both, and Bush is more kind of your back and coverage guy, because Gibson is a bigger safety overall and is very physical. So I think you've got more flexibility in the back end. Maybe you'll see some more Josh Woods, who I think is a guy I really do like in coverage, and think his speed and looks may get him some extra snaps. Because you saw on offense, they rotated through skill position guys to keep them all fresh. You might have to start thinking about doing a little bit better of that on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I want to just add one thing here, and Claudio putting things over the Insta. We're trying to show off a little bit here. with our new
Phil, everybody
graphics.
knows how to reach you by now. Don't
Exactly.
worry.
Yeah.
I don't
Everybody
think
Trying
they
to
know
do my
what's
job. Phil.
going
Let
on
me do
in
my
there.
job.
Claudio's doing a tremendous job. Tremendous job.
I got your back, Claudio. Don't
Thank you,
worry.
Cars. Appreciate it, bro.
But I look at this matchup against the Giants, and I really want to see the thing that I was most critical about Nagy without seeing the All-22. Just my feel was.
Is that up? Is the All-22 up, Phil?
American Mill
Oh
wants
my
to know.
God, Claudio! Please just take it down. It's like taunting me at this point. Right when I said it, too, Cars. Without seeing it, was the use of personnel. It's like even in the beginning of the fucking game, I'm sitting there looking at David Montgomery running for 6 yards, carrying 3 guys on his back, and then he takes them out. It's like that's the opposite school of what I come from. It doesn't make sense because I feel like you gotta get these guys a rhythm, and then you can appropriately use them together. I think Tariq, listen, showed me some of the things that I was critical of him. He hit it up in there. He ran hard, but I thought David Montgomery clearly was the guy. It was like, let's go. You're about to fucking this offensive line to what Shayne and you, Juan Castillo's guys came out there and were playing a physical brand of football that I didn't necessarily see at all last year. I didn't see the line of scrimmage move. So you hope they moved. They got onto the second level. They got me fired up. Fetty and Daniels showing the capability to get on backers. Leno was he's too
Your
high.
favorite player. I
He's
know.
fucking.
I get you.
I just don't get it. I just don't.
But like that was nice to see Daniels. And sorry, Shayne. Daniels have that recovery game, right? Like,
right.
It was starting to teeter on that, not necessarily a bust thing, but like that he was a reach in that second round, and then all of a sudden you saw the camp pictures where he came out, and you're like, damn, where'd that body fat go? And then all of a sudden he was getting to that second level. It made a huge difference in that run game.
This guy's got a caboose on him too. He's carrying these legs.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude is growing up. I'm like, Shayne, did you see the ass on this fucking kid?
That's what you want though from an offensive lineman.
Which is a really uncomfortable tweet or text to be a third party. Look at the ass on this guy, and I'm like,
he is
Phil,
low. His pads were down. I was like, fucking James Dan for the great state of Iowa.
Can I get a little breaking news drop?
Yes,
please, sir.
Absolutely. The brand. Are you breaking who was watching our show or
no? That's
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
into the Tape Never Lies studio desk is some breaking news. I have been paying a little bit too much attention to my phone as we're live on air here, but I have just locked in a guest for Packers Week, and it is committed and locked in. And speaking of locked in, he is from the Locked on Packers podcast.
My goodness. Are you talking about
Peter,
Mr. Dumbest Tweet himself?
Peter Bukowski has committed and confirmed that he will be joining us on Green Bay Packers Week to talk Bears versus Packers. So
Claudio's in shock. Look at
I
him.
am. I can't wait to meet this guy. I've heard so many good things about him, especially from Shayne.
Bears fans love him. He's probably
I can't wait to meet him right now. I'm sure he's a really nice Packer fan. I'm sure he's very
well educated.
Is he gonna have cheese on his head?
He knows how to.
What is the cheese thing? Because they make cheese, so they wear cheese on their head. Is that what it is?
Yes, because Wisconsin, I guess, is a cheese-based state.
Right. Yeah.
Do they have in their life? Do they
Lauren
have on their
Cox tried to get
license?
it changed to Nutella. Wasn't that what Lauren was pushing for?
Nutella on a cheeseburger.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
Oh my god.
Disgusting. No way.
I don't know if I could do it. Nutella on a pizza. Claudio and I have had. It is
It's
tremendous.
amazing. Yeah.
I'm telling you,
powdered
Cars.
sugar and strawberry. Oh man,
It's strawberries, Nutella, and
That
pizza
sounds like
dough.
a dessert.
It is.
No, it's a
Yeah.
dessert.
But it's-
You eat it at the end. It comes out at the end.
but it's like a pizza. It's made
That's
like
what
a
she
pizza.
said.
That's what she
Cut
said.
like pizza.
Exactly. We're having a race. If anybody, I am a huge Office fan. So real quick, before we go to the next segment,
I got Office socks on right now. Actually,
look at this
the
guy.
Office. See
He's
that?
got Office socks.
This just got
That was
weird.
not
We're
planned.
Scott-
We're
That was
talking
not
about
planned.
butts,
I don't know
guys.
what.
Butts.
Jesus
Your
Christ! Don't
audio
be
is
showing
his
your
legs.
don't be showing your feet. Swanky will be licking his screen.
I thought we got rid of a perv. Now we got another one.
No, Swanky's back.
Swanky. He keeps saying to show his comments here. I
Listen,
don't know if I should.
how could you not
Oh,
love
Swank-
The Office? I gotta say that The Office, it gets me out of a lot. Like, that's my go-to after a Bears loss. So let's go around the table real quick before we go into the segment. What is your go-to? Because I had my week already planned. I'm like, we fucking lost the opener. COVID. Fucking A. I got my whole week dreaded. And then it turned around. God is good. But The Office was the first thing on my menu. So, Cars, what is your go-to? Is it straight Tito's?
Tito's doesn't hurt. It is get into my car and play some combination of Rage Against the Machine, Hollywood Undead, and just like leave the house so I'm not a grump to my all-female household. So I just get in and drive and leave, scream, and then come back and pretend that the football game never happened.
That's your
That's
way
mine.
out. Okay. Rage. Claudio?
Rage is good, yeah. I mean, I might not listen to Rage, but I definitely would take a trip to my safe space, which is my barbershop, which is like Cars. I have 4 daughters, so I have
bless
all
you,
girls.
sir.
Yeah,
You
so
have all girls.
My sanctuary is the shop. That's, I got the estrogen at home. I go to the shop. I got all the testosterone I need. So yin yang, it works out good for me.
I mean, I don't know if you could see in my office, I literally have like a little girl's Mickey Mouse ride here. I don't get any space whatsoever, so I feel.
So you got young. How old are your kids?
6 and 4.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm screwed. It's fine.
It's all
No,
Dora.
it gets worse.
It's all
Trust me.
Dora down.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I love you, girls. If you guys are watching, because you probably are. I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna
Oh
tune
my
in for
God.
your segment, Claudio.
I
Oh,
can't
I'm
wait
sure.
for Claudio's
Can't wait.
segment tonight.
Hopefully, you guys will participate and make it a little easier.
Shayne, how you feeling? What is your go-to after a loss?
I usually have to just.
I know you call me that.
Yeah.
That's
It
not your
affects
go-to.
me so much, and I wish it didn't. I'm in a bad mood. Well, Cars knows how it is. Cars deals with me too. I get pissed. I'm like, the whole fucking team, this goddamn franchise, it's terrible. I'm done. And
He's
then I'll
the
go,
barber at
Yeah.
Coming to America.
Yeah.
Fuck you, and fuck you. Who's
Exactly.
next? Like that's basically.
Can't
what he's
control myself. It affects me so much. And I'll go for a walk. I'll take Riley. We'll go for a walk. I'll come back. I'm like, man, I feel a little bit better. And then I'm like, yeah, I guess I kind of understand that a little bit more what they were doing, but I'm still pissed that they blew it. And then the next day I'll wake up and I'm pissed. It's usually Monday. You're going to work. You're pissed because of that, whatever. And then by Tuesday, Wednesday rolls around. Then you're like, oh, man, I can't wait to watch these fuckers play again.
35-10. We're winning
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
It is a marathon with the Chicago Bears, but you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world.
Oh, exactly.
Football is my life. Everyone knows that who knows me. And the Chicago Bears are like, an inch behind the game itself. So you got to love it. I know all of you fans have your things. So if you want to share them, feel free on the YouTube channel.
Their go-to after the game is BHL, right?
Oh, yeah.
It better be.
It better be.
How do you like that?
Look at Claudio. He's stepping up.
Sharita is saying some bad things about Phil, so I don't know what's going on
Really?
there. But yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was going to say. That's my girl. I have nothing but
She
love.
says she cusses you out because you talk them up the whole time. I don't know what's going on there. But you might...
Phil talks a lot? No.
Yeah, I know. That's a shocker.
Well,
that might come from the breaking news desk.
Here at Keepin' It 100, we keep traditions alive. Shayne and I came up with a segment called Bear Up, Bear Down. I wrote a song about it. It lives on. Just like Shayne and I here with you, Keepin' It 100. And what that is, Bear Up, you are going to pick your Bear Up player of the weekend. Your Bear Down is the opposite of the yelling cars and anybody new listening. It's your bad player. They were Bear Down. So we always start with the Bear Down, but we always start this segment like this.
Philatosion, Shayne Marsaw, the Tape Never Lies Network.
A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up. This week, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw, the smartest man. Bear ups and bear downs of the week.
Yo, bear up, bear down. Were you feeling that?
That was
I even cut it shorter.
That was really good. Yeah, I like
my
that.
My two favorite songs. I forget the Christmas one, or was it Burning Hallis Hall Down? What was that one?
Hallis Hall is gonna burn down.
Yeah, that one. Bear Up, Bear Down, and then there used to be a show that used to be on immediately after Bears games before.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love that song.
I used to get you fired up. Now I get fired up for the Keepin' It 100 song.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Bear Up, Bear Down is also my wife, Stephanie's favorite Draft Dr. Phil song.
Never heard you call her Stephanie, first off.
I had to give
It's
her
weird
her
when you say
government.
that because I'm like,
Is
your
it?
wife, Stephanie. What? Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah,
We
that's
both
right.
have
Hold
a
on.
wife named Stephanie.
That's
Should write
right.
a song about. So in this, we're gonna start with the bear down, get the bad shit out of the way with a great week of victory, and we're gonna start with our guest cars, and then we round robin it back. So we'll do it in the order on the screen now that we have video. So it'll be cars, Claudio, Shayne, Phil. Then I will lead off with Bear Up player, Shayne, Bear Up, Claudio, and cars. You will pick the last Bear Up. Okay, so Bear Down player. Who did you give it to? This should be a layup here. It's going to be hard for us.
Well, Bear Down was the worst one, right? That for me, that was Roquan. I wanted to give it to Danny, but kind of what I wrote about is I expected the young guys to step up, the second-year players, third-year players to step up. So it was Roquan was my pick there, and yeah, he made one play early on behind the line of scrimmage in the run game, and then he looked like a guy who was on houseboats with Pornhub actresses for the rest of the game. So, we kind of talked about it last time. It's really sad that we're now looking at this like Edmonds was probably might still have been the right pick when he went, because he's just those gifts, those talents, they're not showing up consistently enough. And you could take Danny falling down if Roquan is ascending, and it looks like early on he's okay with where he's at.
Yeah, he's looking like just a guy.
Just a guy. Yeah.
Just a guy. Roquan.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested in seeing him. I was hoping we had
I think
to get back to the All-22.
I think he tied with Gibson for the lead in tackles. But like I said, when I picked him to be the guy that finally, essentially what Cars was saying, to to become what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's still 15 games left and he's got time, but you have to see Roquan Smith can't be a guy that you look at the box score and be like, oh, he had 7 tackles today and that's it. He's got to be a disruptor. He's got to have you draft a linebacker in the top 10, you have to see those game-changing plays. He's got to, strip a football. He's got to make a big hit, come up with a pick, a sack,
defend
anything.
a pass,
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
Keep putting the fans, the 100 crews picks up, because I want them involved
I'm looking
too.
for them. I am, yeah.
So I see some of them putting their bear downs, and you guys are such a big part of what we do here.
Absolutely.
I've always believed in that. That's why we built another network up, because I felt like it was so important, and so did Shayne, to involve the listener, because you're just as passionate, and I've had so many people, you're saying exactly what I'm thinking. Shayne is so fucking smart. He's saying exactly what I was thinking. So that's what I want. You're involved every week when we do bear up, bear down. Claudio, who was your bear down?
So, I mean, Carr said Trevathan. I mean, I was going to do him too, but,
No, same guy as Trevathan?
No, yeah. Trevathan, whatever.
Everybody
But I was gonna do him because, I mean, that play where...
You can do him because Carr's actually
I know, but I don't want to do him
Roquan.
because I want to do somebody else. You
Okay.
mentioned it. But anyways, I was going to say that one play
Don't mention anybody else but the guy you're
All
going to
right.
do.
Jimmy Graham. Listen, Jimmy
That's
Graham.
He's pulling a
stealing.
Phil.
Jimmy,
Don't take that stuff from him, Claudio.
It's all right.
That's
It's all right. I'm
pulling
used
a
to it.
Phil.
Listen, so Jimmy Graham.
Can't do that in this game, Cars.
Okay, so Jimmy Graham is my guy because
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, because you know what? Those 2 passes, if Swift catches that ball,
Yes.
we might be looking and saying, hey,
Might.
those 2.
No,
yeah,
we would
well,
be.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm giving a little benefit of the doubt, but that's where I go because I think those were huge catches that a guy with his career and he's got to make those catches. So that's my guy.
Look at that, Claudio.
How was that?
Stepping up in the pocket.
Appreciate it.
But don't ruin the game by saying other
We need to get Phil a thing that pats him on the back.
I'm patting you on the back.
Like that.
This is
his own hand fits there perfectly.
You guys are feeding this is a game. Now
I know.
I added.
Thank you,
You're
Phil.
just
Thank you, Phil. I
you're
appreciate
falling into Shayne and Cars' game. You're supposed to
I'm
have
the
my
moderator.
back.
I got to be in the middle.
You're supposed to have my back. This is
I
what
don't
they
think that's how
do.
this works. No, that's
People
not how it
paint
works.
me.
We all
Don't
love
paint
you,
me.
Phil.
I was
But
complimenting you.
I know, and I appreciate it.
Oh my
You're
God.
taking it to
Move
another-
on.
All right, Shayne, who you got?
I'm not gonna miss the layup.
That's what I
Demetrius
thought.
Harris. I'm gonna take the layup, and I talked about him with JJ number 59. I was very, very disappointed in what I saw because Danny Trevathan, I always pay a lot of attention to him. Just my son is the biggest Danny Trevathan fan, and I always found that odd. A 9-year-old kid, you think that it's going to be some, Khalil Mack or Eddie Jackson or whatever. He picked out his own favorite player, and it's always been Danny Trevathan. And I was watching him, and it reminded me a lot of watching when Nick Kwiatkowski in Game 1 last year got attacked, and then they were like, it's time to get Roquan in there. Do you guys remember that when we were watching that unfold?
Yes.
And I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, just like JJ said. I think he deserves that, but it's such a long injury history there, and 30 years old. I believe it was Hogan Johns, maybe in their latest podcast, talked a little bit about it. They actually brought up Akeem Hicks kind of the same way. You just don't know that 30-year-old cliff. People hit that quicker. Some people, just bounce off of it and then can keep going. You just don't know. And I think this Giants game is going to say an awful lot about the middle of our defense, because I'll tell you what, with Roquan being Carr's pick, I'm taking the other guy on the inside. As much as I love Josh Woods, great guy, I love his skills and Iggy. This is going to be a area that I think the Bears are gonna have to attack looking around the league, because you saw they got 3 guys poached from the practice squad, and I hated to see the guy that Dallas took. I loved a lot. Yep. Yeah. I loved a lot of what I saw there. I was hoping he was a guy that the Bears could keep and kind of groom a little bit. But with these open spots on the practice squad, obviously I'm assuming they're going to put Salbert down. I think that they'll probably re-sign him to the practice squad. But I think that they're going to have to – I think they really, really have to look into adding one inside linebacker on this practice squad that they think if they get into a pinch they can add. I mean, I would be bringing in some street free agents to work out this week. Hopefully they did that Tuesday, because it was a rough one. I've went through the TV feed 2 times now, obviously with the All-22 not being out, and focusing on Danny.
You should just call this show the All-22.
Yeah.
How did T.J. Hawkinson? Seriously, how did T.J. Hawkinson not go for $150?
I know.
Legitimately.
And the thing that really bothered me is Danny Trevathan is the guy that you never worried about giving that all-out effort. And Cars, there was a couple of times he wasn't even jogging.
Oh, it was. I mean, and so that's your cautious tale, right? Like,
yeah,
it looked conditioning, because he's usually the guy that's like,
yep,
late. He shows up in every frame at the end of tackles, and then last week, it was just kind of like, I don't even see that number anywhere.
Yeah,
that's unusual.
Yeah. Well, Danny T, that was my layup. So I'll go now to my bear down.
Oh,
and that's got to be a layup for everybody that knows me. And
does he wear 72?
Absolutely. The disappointment that you see in a player that obviously played and admittedly played like shit last year, you would think that he would come like James Daniels did and work on his body. So I start there. When he came out running onto the field, he looked heavier than he's ever looked, with his belly hanging over his pants and just completely awful. Then you look at the technique, and he can't even get his ass down. He's so high. Like, when I look at the All-22, I mean, it could be a whole hour on the Patreon when we go there on Leno. We could do a fucking Leno series on how not to play tackle. That's what could happen. But really, just watching it, I said it on BHL. I said, listen, this guy, he played like, I saw him on the ground. I gave him 1 props on a toss play where he fucking ran in front, made the cutoff block, and dove and chopped the guy down. I go, this motherfucker's hustling. Okay, so what if he ate Popeyes? As long as he's fucking hustling. But guess what? He didn't He's pass protecting, getting beat. His fucking knees aren't bent. He's completely off balance on play. I'm like, I can't even watch it without the coach's tape. I wanted to watch it again, and then I look, and it's just so disappointing. Like, be a fucking professional, man.
Yeah, I gotta ask you a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, you're seeing this on the tape, right?
Yes.
How are the coaches not looking at that same tape and saying,
who's the other option?
Who else can we get? I mean,
who's the other option?
There isn't another option.
I honestly think
but I'm saying,
there is another
option.
I think there's.
You're going to say Coward.
Yes, I think Rashad Coward has the mentality, the footwork, and the ability to possibly do it. Well, possibly is a chance, as fucking the great Jim Carrey would say. At least there's a fucking chance. Because right there, that's across the board, they were good. JJ pointed out white hair got beat on that play. Yeah, we're all going to get beat. We can't be NFL players getting beat up as offensive line. That's the difference. So let's see when we get to the all 22 how he played, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be pretty. And to answer your question, Claudio, the same coach, Shayne Moneyman Marsaw, put up the fucking video on Twitter. Go to The Tape Never Lies at TTNL Network on Twitter and go look at the video footage of the supposed batted ball on 4th down that the coach is talking about. There's no batted ball.
JJ admitted it tonight. I mean, it's not even close.
Guys, you're missing the point. There
One
was
last thing.
a force of wind that happened as the arm went up, and
Of
the
all those-
trajectory
of all those
of
fans,
the wind.
of all those
Yeah,
fans
All the fans clapping.
It
There
was
sound
all the
out
hot
there.
air coming
At
from
least
Matt
he didn't
Patricia.
false start. At least he didn't false start. We'll give him
When's
that.
the last game we didn't see one of those?
That
Though,
was.
to be
There
honest.
was a Charles Leno penalty. We got one of those. Holding number 7. I was like, here, you can't even make it up. But real quick, this is the last point on Leno. And I totally lost it. I had it in my head. And I totally fucking... It's all right. I had it. Fuck. Oh, his contract. The Ryan Pace, and this is where politics can't go into football. I see somebody say, no coward, no coward. I think Jeremy, no coward. Why not? Why not? You know, left tackle's one-on-one. Athlete versus a player. There's very little much more than that. So, yes, there's kiss blocks, which, what's a kiss block? Kiss block is when you're combo blocking. You're going together, shoulder to shoulder, and fully knowing that you're just going to give a little help to get to the next level. There's scoop blocks where you got to step with the right foot, have the right technique so you could swing your ass around, scooping and positioning yourself in front of the defender. Those things your left tackle should be able to do like that because they should be a tremendous athlete, tremendous pride and toughness. Now, if you as a fan, I'll do this real quick, and this will be it, Shayne, I'm sorry. If you as a fan define Charles Leno as athletic, tough, leader, strength, aggressiveness, if he has those things for you, then he's your left tackle. If you don't hear those things in your head when you think of him, then Claudio, the answer is the contract that Ryan Pace signed. We can't get, we got to play him. And that's a shame to me. Because what did we say, Shayne? Get that fucking tackle in there. Anyway, he's my bear down. So to rewind, Cars, Roquan. Claudio tried to double dip, but came in with Jimmy Graham. Shayne, the layup, and Danny T. Hopefully he turns it on this week. And then I have Charles Leno. Then we go to Bear Up. And I'm just going to play a little smidgen second of it because we're not going to play the whole thing. But we need that beat to get Claudio juiced up. Look at him.
Philatosian, Shayne Marsaw, the Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies Network. Bear up, bear down. I am going to go off first. My bear up is very easy for me here. Because for me, the game of football is 4 quarters long. You can't define anybody in 1 quarter or 1 half. You have to prove and get to the point where you are yourself. And for me, my bear up was Mitch Trubisky. I mean, to see what he was able to do and perform when the team needed him to do it. I mean, you can't overlook these things. Forget about these angles and the tightest windows. Those things are great. But what I saw somebody was somebody with confidence and understanding. The opposite of Claudio right now. Somebody that has the ability to step up and deliver when the game was on the line, and really 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, bring your team from behind. He didn't let the team drive down the football field and have the kid almost win the game. He went out there and drove his team down the football field and showed the passion and everything that you want to see in this guy that I kind of, went at JJ with. I wanted to know some answers about him being a dick now. And I meant it in a positive way. Just get after somebody and say, this is my fucking team. It's my reputation. Every Monday I'm getting shit from Stephen A. to Skip Bayless to fucking punters that have shows and fucking whatever. Fucking gamblers that have fucking shows. Everybody talking shit about you. But what you have to do is take the onus on yourself and be the man, because it's you. It's Cade McNown. It's Shane Matthews. It's all of these dead quarterbacks that live with the reputation. Rex Grossman, you sucked. All of them, right? They live with that from fans. So it's your reputation. How are you going to define your career, Mitch? You went out there and did it. He is my bear up this week. Claudio, you got yourself situated because I want to maintain. Let's put you back.
I had to go back. My computer was messing up. So
you back?
I'm back.
You got it?
Back. I'm ready.
All right.
Cars, who you got?
No, it's you.
Oh, you're going to me. You're going diagonal now.
No, down.
Well,
back.
I was over there. You had me over there.
Oh,
so.
yeah, you're right.
All right.
It's my bad.
All right.
It was my fault. Shane was under me in the Brady Bunch. So,
all right. Claudio going or am I going?
You want me to go?
Shane is going. I apologize.
I'm going to surprise some people here. And I'm going to go on the offensive line with our new right guard. I think
Jermaine Ifedi.
I think along with Juan Castillo, I think Ifedi is the next guy in line that is bringing a lot of that aggressive mentality here. At tackle, that's not who he is. That's one thing I've talked to Seahawk fans. When they pushed him inside, he's been a different guy. I mean, you saw the penalties that he got outside at tackle. I saw him. He's a big fucking guy. And we haven't seen a big guy get to that second level that can just fucking maul dudes since 75 was healthy.
Hey, Shane, I don't know if you remember, I did a Tape Never Lies on Ifedi.
Yep.
That was deleted. I don't know.
I don't. Can you tell me where that is? Where I can find that?
I don't know. But I totally proved the point that
should have backed that up. But anyways,
that he could play guard.
Yeah,
that was my point. But the evidence is lauded.
I want to say, and yes, JJ made a point here too. Yes, it was against Detroit, but I think some of these guys. I mean, he's still a young guy, like 26 years old. Sometimes these guys. I mean, he was a first round draft pick that the Bears were actually very high on the year that he came out. Sometimes these guys just need a change of scenery. They get different scheme.
He needed a position. He was a better guard, even when he was coming out.
And
when he was coming out.
You start to look at the interior of this line as a whole, the three guys in the middle with Ifedi, Whitehair, and Daniels. I mean, James Daniels could have been, I'm not trying to double dip, but he could easily be
Claudio.
Somebody that you guys take. But I'm just saying, this is something that's going to be very underrated for this team moving forward. When you have a between the tackles guy, like a guy that can churn out the tough yards, and David Montgomery, I think that it's gonna be a huge benefit. You got Mitch under center, solidifying this inside. I think Jermaine Ifedi, I'm going to be very interested to focus in on him when we do finally get the All-22. I don't know if you guys heard. And I want to see what he does. I want to see what he does in week 2 at right guard and start to string together some of these games, because, Phil, you're an offensive line guy.
Yeah.
What is more important than cohesion on an offensive line? There's nothing more important.
Well, and secondarily, what's worse
you're right.
than kills any offense? Interior pressure.
Absolutely.
Right? Interior pressure more than anything else. And if you solidify that, everything's open.
Listen, Ifedi is a great choice. He would have been my choice had Mitchell Trubisky continued to play like he did in the first half and more. Great choice. Obvious improvement interior. You saw big holes being made, and to Carr's credit, exactly, getting that interior locked in is going to just help your quarterback and this running game, which, by the way, Coach Nagy stayed with the running game. That was big. So great choice, Shayne. Claudio.
Well, that's a great segue into my bear up, because I don't know if it's legal, but I want to do actually the three-headed monster we had, because, you know, obviously Montgomery got more carries, whatever, but you got, you know, Cordell averaged 4.8 yards a carry.
He's taking 3 dudes now.
I'm letting him. He gets what's up with our shit. He gets to do
exactly. I do whatever the fuck I want. Thank you. There ain't no fucking law against this shit.
Next
no,
week,
but for real,
Claudio's-
because listen, because obviously
Claudio's bear up next week. I would take the defense. They really stepped up against the Giants.
That's 54 active members of that team.
I mean, maybe obviously the O-line did great, and so, you know, helped them, give them some holes. But, you know, these guys, if you want me to pick one, I mean, then obviously I gotta go. Okay, I'll go with Montgomery. Obviously, you know, he every play he ran, it looked like he wanted that extra yard. He was ready to, you know, put his head down, like you know, what's his face there that got thrown out. Showed the
Jamie
ref.
Collins.
Yeah, you know,
Jamie
so he's
Collins.
ready to get it. So if I gotta pick, I mean, I gotta go with Montgomery.
Well, that's a good pick too, because I thought David Montgomery was the hot hand. You gotta love a guy that shows effort through contact, spinning. I mean, the one thing I was critical of the offensive line, it's like when David's running the ball, just keep playing to the whistle. They need to learn that, because he could spin out of this shit and break it if you just stay with your block. Like, you gotta, you know, I remember, and I've never seen it again. When I was young, there was this VHS of Walter Payton's offensive line, and they were talking. It was one of the guards, and he was like, we had to learn, keep our hands in, because Walter would destroy our arms, but we also had to learn that we had to continue no matter what to block somebody, anybody, because you never know Walter's breaking it behind you. And really, that's what I see. It's not a comparison to Walter. It's not what I'm saying, but I think everybody on this panel, on the show, understands exactly where I'm coming from with David Montgomery.
Yeah. I actually have a question for all of you on that. So you think the use of the running backs and only Montgomery getting 13 carries was because of the game plan or because of his groin?
Yes. No, it was groin. It was.
You think so? Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get to
I'm
practice
worried
a whole lot
about
at the
that.
end.
I mean,
yeah.
But I think it helps
hoping.
that as a whole, Patterson had popped a couple. Tariq Cohen chipped in, and I think that that's something that we could see moving forward. You may get less carries, but the running back position as a whole may get more.
And that's why I wanted to do the whole running back position, because it's like a.
Well,
if that's how they're going to do
works,
that, might
That's
Claudio.
not how it works,
well,
cheater.
Hey, listen, I'm just
You're
changing
new
the rules.
here.
I'm new. I'm changing the rules.
So we can, our draft prospect, our 5-person board can be 15, but our bear up, bear down can only be one.
I didn't get
just
the
wanna
memo.
make sure.
I
If we
didn't get
do
the memo.
a top 5 draft, because we will have
Point to who you're talking about, Cars.
great
I
draft
don't know who
coverage.
that could be. Yeah, I don't know.
There are a 5A or a 5B. Or there could be a 3A thrown in there. That's draft coverage, but bear up, bear down, Lady Bear will tell you, you're only allowed one.
Gotta make a choice. All right, so Cars, what's your choice?
Bear up, Cars. Who's
So,
your bear up?
if I weren't already the least liked person here, my bear up for this is Matt Nagy. And the reason
Wow.
for that is...
Let's isolate in on Cars for this reason. I'm ready.
Look, there's a lot of guys out there, but everybody complained taking snaps from under center. We did that. Play action, did that. Where's the tight ends? We showed that. Right? There are plays that were missed. There are, for multiple reasons. either the tight end or a couple passes, right? Like, one of the things I've harped on is we've been missing the talent for his entire tenure here at key positions to run the offense that he wants. And I don't want to hear any more of this crap about, like, change it. It works for KC. It works for Philly. It is an offense that works. And he's finally getting the talent to do it. And we saw that in the way that the plays were drawn. There were a lot of plays where guys were schemed wide open. There were deep plays that were open. Some were hit, some were missed. I'm not naming names as to why. This week, Matt Nagy completely changed the scheme of an offense during a COVID-shortened season. And that is realistically why in the game, we stayed in it. We were down 20-6. The next time we got the ball, he ran the ball the first 3 times. He never abandoned the run. He never gave up on anything, and he deserves it.
Wow, I like it.
Did you want to take the entire coaching staff?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I nearly went Nagy, Laser, Castillo, but that's fine. That's fine.
You have to turn off that mic when you come back.
Yeah,
Let it react.
Grounded Claudio.
Claudio's having technical difficulties over here.
I mean,
he's trying to catch up. For some reason,
my computer's running slow. I can't do comments.
He's trying to get the comments.
My computer's just
I don't
lagging.
know what's going on.
It's like Danny T. Lagging behind.
He's back though. See him? Does he look laggy?
Yeah, because
on your end, guys.
No,
he did it a couple different times, but otherwise he's been fine.
He's new. He's going to be at the barbershop.
I think it's sabotage, Phil. I think he's trying to get out of his segment. He's trying to get out of his segment.
So here's the question for you, Shayne. Are we going to do Claudio's segment now, or are we going to do dumbest tweets of the week?
Listen, I know how Claudio was. If he wants to pump the brakes and push it off one more week, I don't.
Yeah,
have
I appreciate
a problem
that.
with that.
I think for the fans too to enjoy the segment, I think maybe that might be the best thing to do.
We can coach him up a little bit. I know we're gonna.
Well, if he's pushing it off.
12 hours of practice this weekend. With you guys come on StreamYard so I can read this for the 87th time.
Oh my God. Phil, still do the tape never lies in the previous game. Jimmy the Greek. He's got to be Greek. He's got to be Greek. Jimmy, we've talked about this, but again, I'll say it. The NFL Network has announced that the NFL.com has announced they have an issue with the coach's tape. Thus, without that, I can't produce the tape never lies. When that cut does officially come out, believe me, everybody can text and DM me. I'm going to get right down into it, cut it, produce it. I'll produce the open, and I'll produce the end, but I can't do it without it. So that's the update there, Jimmy. How did you say? You did a good job pronouncing his Greek last name.
Yakanopoulos. Yanakopoulos.
Where is this guy again? Bring him up. Everybody's got to give it a shot here. There he is. Oh,
did I say it right, Jimmy?
Jimmy, just right in there. Are we saying it right? Here I go. Jimmy Yanakopoulos. Claudio.
I'm not.
Jimmy Yanakopoulos. Jimmy Yanakopoulos. Okay. One try, Cars. Go ahead.
No.
Okay. All right. He doesn't want to do it. Are you ready, Shayne? Because I'm not. I didn't even get to write my thing because Claudio.
Were you going to pick your bear up and just totally.
I already picked my bear up. I picked Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, you started it. That's right.
You fell asleep.
It's not all on Mitch. It's not all on Mitch.
You fell asleep with your eyes open again, Shayne. It was pretty impressive.
I forgot Phil went first.
Oh my God, the Claudio segment.
I know. I like the love.
I can't believe he's. I think he should just do it.
If you want to make it.
You did work a lot on that open, and it is. I just don't know
I just
wanna
don't want
live
him
up to that
butch-
open. I gotta live up to that open.
Listen,
I mean,
the Open is going to be there next week
did a
too.
good job.
So
Right. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think you should just give it a shot. Talk about the reality that you're going to now. You've changed your mind. I asked him on the phone. This how you want to do it or this? This was his idea.
Well, let's keep it 100 because
Yes.
Is he flipping or flopping?
No,
He's
'cause
flipping. He's
my
flipping.
idea was different. You kind of changed it around because my idea was that we all participate in it.
But then
Your
you
idea
were
was,
like-
well, it's just all you. So that's why I'm like, well, I didn't prepare for that. So that's
but
why.
then you did
we should-
prepare for it.
Well, no, I didn't have the time to prepare for it.
These are my
I got
favorite
work and I got
moments.
stuff. I don't sit on the computer and the
Claudio,
phone
you
all
can
day.
do it.
If I
think
recorded
everyone
the-
believes in Claudio.
If I
This is my
recorded the
favorite
pre-show banter, it was literally 35 minutes
Exactly.
of Claudio
I can't
sweating.
do it. I can't do it.
I can't.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Listen, you
Hey,
guys are the
it's
pros.
like
I'm
the
the
all
rookie. I'm the
22.
rookie to this. You guys are the pros. This stuff
I
comes
said,
easy.
Claudio, don't worry about it. Only 2,000 people will be listening. He's like, well, I don't care about
I don't
that.
care. No, I don't. I just don't want to make the show. Want it to flow. So I think the week off might be a good idea. But
Should we take a vote here?
Take a vote.
I think you should do it because I don't think it's gonna be what you think it's
All
gonna
right.
be.
Well, now we're building it up, and now it's just going to be a whole
Exactly.
thing. And
It's too late. Fucking do it. Go.
Yeah. All right. So that's two. So my vote, Claudio.
All right,
You
let's
know how
cut it
I
out.
am.
Let's do it. Cut
I
it out.
love
Let's
you,
go.
but you're
Cut it
gonna
out.
do it.
Let's go.
All right. So here it is.
Fuck
the
it, we're
new
doing it
segment.
live.
We're doing it. We're doing it, folks. in
Well,
the
Bill
chat.
O'Reilly for
Let me
that.
just
I know
set this
that.
up. Claudio wanted to share it, make me, Shayne, and Cars be a part of this. And I said, we always talk. This is your idea. You do it. I'll produce the Open. We'll get it all together. And then I reached out to the 100 crew that have been so
and they-
fired up. And they
that's why
really,
I want to do that. I want to do them justice. That's
they
why, 'cause
really
they came through.
They really came through for you. And
Yeah.
that just shows what kind of hospitality we have at the Tape Never Lies Network.
Yeah, that's
We
that's
could
for
do
sure.
that word?
That's for sure.
I'm going to Google that.
Hospitality.
I'm going to Google that in a second. Don't worry about it.
Hospitality. It's not as hard as Yiannopoulos,
All right,
which Claudio has up.
This segment is brought to you by Phil's Coke Zero.
That Claudio continues to drink.
Tastes better.
It's called Cut It Out with the Barber. Get it? Cut it out. And Claudio's going to go every week and talk and complain about something that's going down in the NFL or on the games
Mainly
or something
Bears, but
crazy
yeah.
in the Bears. Here we go.
Hey, cut it out. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you must have been at the top of your fucking class.
It's Claudio the Barber.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Just cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Man, cut that shit out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
It's Cut It Out with Claudio the Barber. Hey, you gotta let me talk, Phil. Hey, you gotta let me speak. Claudio is gonna be bringing a new sense to Keeping It 100. It's Cut It Out with Claudio on the Tape Never Lies Network.
There you go. Claudio the
That's
Barber.
it. That was amazing.
Claudio.
I tell you what, seeing my wife saying "cut it out" triggers me a little bit.
There you go. You're getting
She's-
fired up. So
No, I appreciate everybody that did that. That was pretty awesome. Phil, you did a great job.
pat me on the back. There you go. He's here. See that? He's here. He's
So-
here. So bring your passion and heart. We're here to
Yeah,
help
I mean,
you.
I came up with this idea. I thought it would be fun to just take a couple clips from the game every week and just point out some stuff to cut it out. You might have heard of a similar segment on a big new sports channel. So I got that idea from that. So I see you doing this there. doing that.
Let's do cut it out.
Told
Claudio
you,
doesn't see it.
My
on the
screen. I told you my computer's lagging, dude. You don't listen. I'm so. You need to listen. What's the matter for you?
Come over here and sit next to me.
Sit on Uncle Phil's lap.
Sit on. Get rid of
This is getting really awkward now.
This is why you don't want to listen.
Listen.
I told
We're
you
gonna
the
do
computer's
it.
not working right.
This is what we do here.
So it's
We
keeping
go-
it.
we keep
This is
it
keeping
on.
it 1,000 more than keeping it 100. All right.
1,000. Look,
Let's
he's
go.
coming over. I didn't realize you got these
do this.
tattoos.
You didn't
Here
realize that?
Here he
You only
is.
know me.
Claudio
Forever.
the barber.
All right.
Claudio.
So let's do this together.
You
Let's
ready
go.
to do it?
Yeah.
Now,
I can talk over the video, right? So
we
that's
learned that we could talk
that's
over the
key.
video.
That's key. that I
Okay.
can talk over the video.
So here we go. We're going to test this that he can. Shayne and Cars, just give me the thumbs up that you can hear us while the video's.
I mean,
cut it out.
Cut it out with that shit. Seriously.
Cut it out.
You barely touch them. This is not girls lacrosse where every fucking thing is a foul. It's so frustrating. My girls played lacrosse. I go and watch them, but it's ridiculous. So I understand you got to protect the quarterback, but please cut it out with that shit.
Look at that.
There you go.
Your first one in.
There
I
you
liked
go.
it.
I'm
All
a
right.
fan.
Look at Cars
Thank
is
you.
not a guy that fucking minces words. He will tell you if he
Cars
doesn't
just-
like it.
Cars literally just texted me and is like, dude, this segment's not going to make it to next week, is it?
That's what I said.
I
said the same thing. I tried to tell him.
I like this segment.
I get a chalkboard and Claudio gets a 45-minute intro.
Listen, dude.
Like, what
Cut
the
it
hell
out.
is this?
I think I'm gonna see people on the street. And
I'm
they're
liking
gonna be
it.
saying,
I mean-
"Cut it out!"
I'm a fan.
If you
Can't wait
see
for a
Claudio,
game. Yeah, can't wait for a game.
If
because
they
we had a lot of
see
fun
you
with it.
and they go, "Cut it out," will you give them a free haircut or at least
No, I'll
50
give them a
50% off?
50%.
Come
I love how
on.
you're
Can you
giving
imagine
discounts.
someone comes in your and
Oh, it'd
they're a
be great,
fan
of
and they go,
course, yeah.
"Cut it out."
Of course.
Okay.
We had Kevin Gilbride in there. We don't give free haircuts to anybody. So.
Oh, but you are the owner now, so
Yeah,
you
sure.
can do it. All right, our next play. You ready?
Sure.
For cut it out.
Let's do it.
Poor
Please,
James.
cut it out.
I
man.
think you're
We had a
hard
great
on
game,
James. I think
but-
you're hard on James there.
Well, I saw it and I said, cut it out. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
Claudio, cut it out. Why are you
I
being
mean,
so
you know.
rude?
This is a family show, sir. A family show.
I'm sorry. I mean,
He just,
I just
he
had a.
couldn't get.
All right.
He was worried about the ref throwing a flag or delay, maybe.
The first one was better than the second. Let's
Okay.
Let's keep
We'll
it
try-
real.
we'll try for
I
that.
think
Yeah, keep it 100.
the
It's all right.
final will be great. But here's number 3.
There's a reason for that. So cut it out.
Cut it out. Look at that, Claudio.
Claudio, you got to do the cut it out at the you got to
You gotta
sell
do
like,
it, yeah.
You if this is your segment, you got to
I
own
know.
that shit.
I'm trying. This is why.
After this one, you gotta lean into the mic and be like, "Cut it out."
Just wake up the.
I mean,
boys.
some of those people, no, your boys are fine. Don't make a fucking excuse. I saw Johnny Necrone going in there. Cut it out. You have Quentin Botha in fucking China doing with his puppy dog. You got Heidi in Mexico. People, Sandy Tom was in the open.
They did a great job.
Yeah, so they
They
could
did.
do it. You could do it for the guy.
I can.
All right.
I'm a fourth quarter guy. Let's go.
This is your
Like
last
Trubisky.
one.
Let's go.
The
Fourth
last
quarter.
one.
All right.
How are the fans feeling?
It
Cut
better-
it out.
Yes, they're feeling it. But if you don't come
Look,
strong,
yes,
All right.
but look,
Get
Quentin
fired
Ball. We're
up.
just talking about it.
Well, this is the funny
Cut
one.
it out. Look, you cut it out. Get your Jerry Seinfeld if you can't get the bass.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
You ready for the last one?
Let's do it.
What do you think it's gonna be?
And it was a simple option.
You didn't show the fake fans. So I wanted to say, cut it out with the fake fans. You didn't show the right video. I think, cut it out with the fake fans. Lions, listen, Lions, you should kind of stop worrying about fake fans and worry about real catches, all right? Cut it out, all right?
Get right here. Cut it out. Go.
Cut it out.
There
Seriously.
you go. There
Cut
you
it
go.
out.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
In a first in this network's history, I'm going to agree with Chubbs on something. and that you need the Brutus the Barber beefcake scissors specifically. I will never agree with Chuck.
Yes.
But
I saw that
is where
actually the
we're
first
going.
week. Somebody said
He had to use my clip, Claudio. That took me like 13 minutes.
Your clip
to
was
do.
good.
Dude,
but you just had to add the.
I want to play that
virtual
clip
fans.
again because it was so good.
The point of the whole cut it out
He
was
needs.
virtual fans.
He needs.
Just
There's
let
no
the
fans right
let
there
the
in that
fans
angle.
enjoy it, and then
Yeah,
look at
let's
the
just-
and look at the trophy that
Yeah, let's do it again, Claude. But
he's holding.
Cars is putting you on the spot. Come into the mic. That's what she said.
Get in there. Get in there. Grab that shit and own it.
Own it. Cut it out. Give it to me. Here we go.
You're making us, showing us something we can't have, like Patricia and the Lions holding up the fucking Lombardi trophy.
There we
So,
go.
cut it out!
There you go. Now,
There we go.
I
See,
like
I
that
wanted to plan it out.
Claudio says, "Cut out the drops so the Bears can be 0-1."
Well, that's what I said. You're not showing the right
he
play.
caught himself, though. He did catch himself.
Come on, DeAndre Swift. Can you please catch
No,
that next
but
time?
you didn't show the right clip. That's what people got to understand. So, you know, that's. But
we
listen, I
will run
appreciate
a we will run a poll this week. Cut it out. Yes, I'm totally.
A little more well organized.
Cut it out.
A little more well organized.
I'm
But
so glad we
but
decided.
fans,
to do
don't
it.
you also want to see a cut it out from Shayne and from Cars and from Phil too? The one that they pick and say.
Mine is going to be a
want-
math problem. No, like nobody wants to see
That was my idea. So just to put it out there.
I'm all in on cut it out.
These
I'm
fans
all
are.
in.
These fans are going to make this all on Claudio.
Look, EJ, that was great, Claudio. Send Claudio some
Appreciate it.
love.
I know. I need a
Follow
hug.
Claudio on Twitter. Where's his Twitter at? Let me get
But Bear
that
Truth
up
is
there.
right. Like each clip with like music and doing it right, like
That-
go
and that
full
thing,
on
that's
out.
what
I can't do it all, Bear
I
Truth.
know,
I mean,
but
geez,
little
what-
preparation.
Shayne and you will do this.
This is
segment.
the thing.
Shayne put music to it.
I
It was
provided.
awesome.
I provided one without music and one with music. And Claudio wanted the one without music.
That is
Well,
the truth.
but that's only because my whole thing was
no.
that I was going to talk over it. You didn't say I could talk over it because that's what I wanted to
Here
do,
we
which is
go.
what I did. So, you know.
Phil, there's
Follow
no all
Claudio.
22 out, so you could have done
Yes,
this.
exactly.
There's no all
You have
22.
all the time
you
in the
could have
world.
done
Follow
all
Claudio on Twitter there. He's popping out. Look at him. And it's not even 8th grade. It's at TTNL Barber on Twitter. Go follow Claudio the Barber. Let him know you love. Look at
Give me
Jay,
some love, please.
Jay Gray. This
I need
segment
love.
stays. I dig it. People are going to love it. Cut it out. There you go. That's
Thanks.
leading us. Great job, Claudio. Seriously.
Thank you.
It was
Now
your
get back
first
to your
time.
corner. Get back to your corner.
I think he's got to stay.
No, I think
here
I do because there's something
He's
going
got
on
to
with the
stay
computer
for the
here,
rest of
so.
next week.
Next
on
week we'll
Keeping It 100.
I'll be at the shop.
Claudio will premiere at his barber shop. Tonight, I was going to take people on the tour of the Draft Dr. Phil studios that are being built, but we're going to save that for after the Giants game. Chris Jackal, shout out to you, True Blue 100 crew, for coming over here doing what you did. Excuse me. I can't even tell you how excited I am to not only share this with the fans, what he did, but also with Shayne and Cars, because Claudio's gotten to see it, and it's awesome. It's going to be dope. But anyway, that's where we are. Claudio, great job. That leads us into me having to set up, and I'm not even prepared with my second soliloquy because I've been dealing with Claudio's emotional. It's a little rhyme, a poem.
Do you think Phil even knows what soliloquy means?
No, it just
I thought
sounds
it
good.
was.
Just sounds
It sounds really good. It does. But I'm not. So my second soliloquy is going to be. I hate the fact that does that. It's like, why does it have to share? I put it on 3 so it wouldn't share the thing. Then I could go back and play the song. You know this song. Oh, I gotta start this the right way. For those of you listening on the podcast, I'm dealing with Claudio and his fear, and then I'm dealing with him now next to me sitting, if you can't see. So now I'm not used to that. So we're getting into this.
dumbest tweets of the week.
Oh yeah, Shayne, you know this part of the show. This is where Shayne Marsaw comes in with his selection of dumbest tweets of the week. And let me start it off like this. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not afraid to do my fucking segment yet.
He's the smartest man. He helped Disney Plus put Mulan on show from Japan. I'm in the camp that says, hey, Ryan Pace, just pay the fucking man. It's the dumbest tweet of the week with Shayne Marsaw. Let me try to fade it out. Oh,
I
Shayne.
want to remind you of my threat of riots, just so we're clear.
Okay. No more riots. Shayne, every week.
This is a heavy segment this week.
Oh, yes. I got a lot of dumb tweets. I'm going to try to... I don't know if they went up in order. So
That's
can you
all right.
just give me a correct... Is just the bald-headed one the first one?
I'll make it work. Go
Okay.
ahead.
You're good at
He's
this.
a professional.
That's right.
Here's his first dumb tweet.
You got to take the quote off there, though. Sorry,
Who
Sheree.
has the quote?
Oh.
That's Claudio.
No.
Yeah.
I took it down. He's having struggles.
Actually, you can't see the whole thing, so... But anyways, that was my dumbest tweet of the week. That is me replying to Hinata's boyfriend at MHHill_22 saying that Jalen Johnson was getting exposed all game. Not sure how you could watch the football game Sunday and come away from that game saying that Jalen Johnson got exposed. Yeah, he had a couple of hiccups, but I came out of that game being even more excited about number 33 moving forward as a foundational piece in this defense. I mean, he was out there, he was making plays, and none of it looked too big for him. So, Hinata's boyfriend, pretty dumb tweet.
That's not Hinata's boyfriend's best moment, I guess.
Yeah.
It's totally fabricated. When you heard JJ talk about it, I mean, the kid breaks up the final play that results in an OSCE by Kyle Fuller, and for a rookie on opening day with the COVID and all the other things that go along with the distraction, I thought he played a tremendous game. There was one pass, if he just turned around, he would have intercepted that one because of the athlete that he is. Again, I think we're just scratching the surface of what his potential is going to be. I mean, you got to be excited. Cars, are you a little bit excited about this kid or what?
I mean, he's kind of everything you want and more right now. I mean, especially when you consider no time and barely made camp.
Consider
and
where
everything.
we came from at that position, too. I mean, you can't,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
watch
a great
that game
point.
and then watch the clip that got shared of Hunter Renfrow juking Prince Amukamara off screen and out of a job, right? Like, you couldn't be far different from those two guys.
Unbelievable. Shayne's next dumb tweet. So every week he's going to give you dumb tweets. He scours it. And then he's going to give you positive tweets. This is his next dumb tweet.
Oh, yeah. So this is a response. This is my second. This is actually the dumbest tweet of the week. But you see Joe up top was talking about Trubisky, and talking about the game coming up. And Bears, Sox, Hawks, Bulls at Georgie JJ09. I believe his name is Georgie Jokic, if you look him up in the phone book. His response to the game coming up, and this was right before the Detroit game, was, maybe some rain. Better be able to establish the run either way, or we'll stay in the same boat as last year. He was worried about the rain in Detroit affecting the game. So that's...
Well, everything else is falling apart in Detroit, so you just assume it's going to flood the stadium. I mean, that's just logical at this point in time. And that's why he said boat, because you're going to have to be on a boat after it floods.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean,
there's no rain in a dome, is
well,
there?
I heard it did get down to like 68 degrees in Detroit inside the stadium at one point. So it was, I mean, we were flirting with disaster, but
Cody Parkey would have called Good Morning America if he had kicked during that one. That's for sure. It was so cold.
But I know Matthew Stafford is not looking forward to when it starts actually snowing in Detroit this year because, you know, hopefully the roof on their dome holds up. So great job.
Forget about it.
Great job, Georgie.
It rains in a dome. Our next dumb tweet. Who's that? Who's that?
Oh, Matthew Karstensen.
It shows
was
that
involved
nobody
in a little Twitter
is
debate,
safe.
and I was actually held at gunpoint by my friend, Mr. Karstensen, about this tweet to include it. But no, it was really dumb. So Mitch Trubisky bailed out Matt Nagy, and it's way beyond time that we should all shift our focus to that. So I understand, and I know Chubbs is probably foaming at the mouth thinking about what I'm going to say here, but Mitch came through in the end. Yes, he won the game, but this is all about what's best for the Bears moving forward, and we need to see consistent Mitch. We need to see more than just at the end of the game, because it's not DeAndre Swift isn't going to drop a pass every week. You know, he's not going to cut it out and have the Bears be 0-1, Claudio. So, you know, I think I don't want to get into this whole Mitch versus Nagy thing debate again, because I think that there's a lot of blame to go around, but it's not all on Mitch. It's not all on Matt Nagy, but you know, they're both to blame here. But to say that Mitch saved Matt Nagy, I think is just fucking ridiculous.
You're not a fan of that.
No, not at all. Because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, did you think that Mitch bailed out Matt Nagy Sunday?
I thought he called the game plan that we've been asking him to call all season.
The
Or for
only
2
issue
years.
I had is what I shared
Right.
earlier: the use of personnel, especially with running backs.
Right.
You want to use the receivers and rotate and do what you do. I get it, but I don't see Walter Payton getting fucking pulled after a 6-yard run where he's carrying dude.
No, I get it.
You
But
know
like
what
I
I'm
said,
saying? That's the
I would
only
be-
issue I had with Nagy and that game.
I would be more upset with some of the guys on defense, you know,
Oh, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that way
Totally
before
agree.
I'm including Matt Nagy.
Especially
into that.
after that game.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
He did everything. The other thing was, would you have kicked there? I know.
I would
Santos-
have. Listen,
yeah,
I
we
love
never
an
got
aggressive
into that.
mentality. Me at the time, you know, I'm
I
just
would've
gonna
kicked too.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I was gonna kick the football there. I was not going for it.
I thought it was an
going for
aggressive.
Were you?
all day. Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, like we've been asking for a modern offense. What does
No, I
Kansas
get it.
City do?
I get
What
it,
does
yep.
what does New England do? Right? Like,
sure.
I thought it was actually a tremendous statement into Matt's trust in Mitch, right?
Yep.
That he was willing to
Right.
go for it.
That
It wasn't
was
an
a
indictment of his kicker. It was a statement of how much he trusted Mitch and what he saw in this preseason. And we can hate it all day. The play was there. The wind obviously knocked it down.
The rain
coming in through the roof. But you know, for so long we've been such a conservative franchise. It was just nice to be like, you know what, let's go for it, and not to even just run a 6-yard play, right, and curl and hope that a guy makes a play. Like that was a 17-yard route that was there and open. So I love that play.
Well, the last tweet of the dumbest tweet.
Oh,
yeah.
This is, I don't know how you couldn't put this as the dumbest tweet. Even the rain in Spain falls gently on the Detroit.
Claudio's got a chill on the comments.
I know.
People
What
can't
is he
read it.
doing, Claudio?
Cut it
There.
out, Claudio.
Cut it out! He's
Told you,
saying
dude.
it's not him.
It's not.
It's only him.
So Mike North sent out a tweet talking about the Masters should be played Tuesday through Friday because sharing the weekend with college football and the NFL will hurt the ratings, which I honestly think is true. And Harp is a guy that's all over everybody's podcast and involved in chat rooms on different networks and this network too. But he said the Masters will always take precedence, even during an NFL weekend. And I'm like, boy, oh boy. I guess there's probably people out there that love golf, but I mean,
I think there's a prominent Bears blogger that likes to tweet news that never happens.
Yeah.
That is a big golf fan as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't do that, dude.
No, I did that.
You're looking at me like
Lady Bear hit it out of the park with hers. So
sabotage.
Shayne
Talk
got
about
to
sabotage.
read that.
Yeah.
There you go. Lady
saw it,
Bear
but
is
yeah.
Lady Bear's 100 crew. I
Oh,
got to
absolutely.
talk to my boy Josh because I need Lady Bear trophy replaced with the 100 Keepin It 100 trophy or the Tape Never Lies Network trophy. But that's me keeping it 100. We have to
I'd like
replace that, right?
Quentin Botha has a comment there. I love golf. I get it. I'll watch the Masters and stuff like that. But you think I'm going to watch the Masters
No.
over the Bears game or practically
Any football game?
Would you
Right.
go to see the new Marvel movie during a Chicago Bears game?
The draft, you mean? No, I would not.
Now, candidly,
No,
I would
to a
probably
Bears
have to
game.
go see a Disney princess movie over a Bears game, but that's just a personal situation. Anything else? No.
Would you
did
go
guys
to
see
a
this
wedding?
did you guys
Would
see
you
this?
go to a wedding?
Did you guys
No,
see
I-
this comment? Do we want to address this?
Oh god, weed is weed.
Weed is weed.
Listen,
I like this
Weed.
dude.
Don't stream it on your phone.
There's an YouTube
Walk
issue.
upstairs, wake your mom up, grab her laptop, stream it to that.
Weed.
I'm kidding. God, we're busting balls.
oh boy.
Weed is weed says he's got top tier internet.
Doesn't matter if he's streaming on his mobile device. That's the issue.
That's an issue.
See, he's laughing. He gets it. He's not
He
going to
gets
go
it now.
cry and create his own network. So, anyways, Phil, those are my dumbest tweets of the week.
Dumbest tweets of the week in the books, Claudio. Taking notes
Beautiful.
as Phil transitions this as he struggles with his internet issues on his...
See, he just said that
'Cause
is
I'm
the
not.
issue.
That is the issue. He understands the show. So
Can you
let's
fix
go
the
to our-
All-22 now, Shane? If
Could
you,
he?
if you fix that out?
I was wondering if he could, because
Has anybody checked that? during
Has
the
anybody
show?
checked during
I'm
the show?
checking right now.
Let's do it live. Give me an update, please. Tell me.
No, we're screwed.
No, I just
Do you have-
checked 5 minutes ago. It wasn't working.
Yep. No, it's not up. It's still
What,
fumbling.
do you have a oops it fumbled? Can you show it?
Yeah, that's...
Give it a oops it fumbled, folks.
Can you do it on the fly? Tape
There
Never
it
Lies?
is.
Play a clip of something and Phil. Just
Cut it
do
out,
off the
Claudio.
top of your
Cut
head.
it out.
No? You know
I
the
like
fans
that
want.
this is-
Wait, you're telling me the fans aren't
How am
going
I
to want
going to
that?
pull it up right now? I can't pull
Go on
it
YouTube
up.
and pull it up. You
No,
do
we're
it.
not going to do that
Not
because
doing
it's
that.
all...
We're getting late. We're
Yeah.
getting late. We're going.
All right, the fans want it. I'm
we're
sure
going-
the fans want it.
Next week we could do it if we'd have no all 22. I
All
promise. But now we are going back to Cali and the dumbest tweets of the week. This is going to be Shayne's best tweets of the week. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you know when you watch our show on Periscope, it sends me notifications of everybody's names? Yeah. We'll address that later.
He's the smartest man, and these are his best tweets of the week. He's the smartest man. He invented the term the pancake block. A win is a win. I don't care about a motherfucking swift drop. He's the smartest man, and these are his tweets of the fucking week. I dragged that
You
out.
tried a little bit too hard on that.
I was
good, though.
trying to
Yeah.
like transit. Okay. If you give me thumbs down, Carr, I trust you, man. You kept it real. But he is the smartest man. Your best tweet of the week. You need me to put it up.
You needed to hydrate before this one.
I did. Mitch. I got my Mitch bottle there.
Is there a specific order, Shane? I don't want to mess up. Just throw them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, here's the number one I see.
Just
Just on cue.
Look at me giving PFF a tweet.
PFF's getting credit.
That shows you how open we are here at the Tape Never Lies Network.
Finally, some nerd love. Finally.
Exactly.
Some nerd love.
So Jalen Johnson in his first NFL start, 47 coverage snaps, 6 targets, 2 forced incompletions, 0 touchdowns allowed. And man, I thought he was going to have that one pick, like Phil said. I did. Pagano even talked about it. The one down at the goal line, that it was like he was almost running the route and it just got past his fingertips. I thought he was going to bring that in. That would have been such a great pick for the rookie. But yeah, Jalen Johnson, man, kid's a player.
I'm putting some music behind you now. Just giving a little bit, podcast. By the way, there is some news that we got to break later, Shane, about the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Don't let us forget.
I will not.
Here we go.
Look at this, PFF again.
PFF twice?
Which is probably never going to happen again, but everybody...
I'm about to cry. This is the most love nerd shit has gotten from you guys, and it's like the happiest day of my life.
You guys know the game. Khalil Mack, that picture right there of him is
getting
he's
held
literally
like a
getting
motherfucker.
choked out. But
I had it from the other angle, and some kid is arguing with me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's the fucking definition of a hold.
Exactly. But yeah, most quarterback pressures among edge rushers on Sunday. Joey Bosa 7, Khalil Mack 6, Tack McKinley 6. So he chimed in second place for the most pressures. He's got to get home. I'm not gonna say that he's got to break through, but I think if he gets his Robin across from him and Robert Quinn, I think that's going to open up a whole lot of things for him moving forward. So a little PFF love. I don't like to give that too much.
Hey,
but
if
they've had a couple solid tweets.
You're keeping it 100. If they speak it, we applaud it. I mean,
that's right.
That's what we do. We even put our nerd behind. I said, why am I putting the guy running the show?
This was Dan Aguirre's least favorite tweet.
Hey, forget about it. Khalil Mack, he's nobody. Why can't he make every play? How much are we gonna pay him? What are we doing? How come we pay him so much and he doesn't make the sacks? Oh my God. This gets me so fired up. I have to speak on it for 1 or 2 minutes. A little fucking tiny rant. I got beats in the background, cars. I got cars, jazz hands.
No, I'm giving it 1 or 2 is 5 minutes.
I thought it was jazz hands.
No, that.
Listen, there is an issue in the NFL when it comes to Khalil Mack, and it's got to be rectified because you can't ref and call a different game. Just like Shayne can't not praise PFF for giving a good tweet, even though we hate on them a lot. We're going to keep it 100. That's what you got to do. It can't be another rule for this fucking guy. He's getting held. It's disgusting. Throw the fucking flag. Understand what kind of player this guy is so we don't have these other fucking idiots on other networks and every blog saying he's not worth the fucking money. When I tell you right now, he's completely worth the money. This guy is everything you want in an edge rusher and more in a leader. He's phenomenal. And there's the numbers from the nerds that I hate. Right?
You hate
giving
all
you
of
the
us.
truth. No, I don't hate all of you. I just don't
So
like...
Phil, as a head coach,
Yes.
when you're in front of the media, are you not going crazy on that point exactly and sticking up for your guy and making it
I
public?
don't get why. I don't get why. I would totally make a stink about it.
Exactly.
I totally would make it a point of conversation prior to the game I would make it a point of a conversation with these refs. I'm tired of it. I would make it a point. Something's got to be done. I would tiptoe around the fine. I totally would, because of
I'd be sending clips every week to the NFL officiating office.
Gotta stop. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But we move on. Another good tweet.
Yeah, Pat Finley sent out a tweet about our rookie wide receiver. Darnell Mooney took the field. Lions players were heard on the field reminding each other, speed, speed, speed. You have another player from the opposite team that's, making sure everybody knows that. It says a lot, because speed kills in any game, especially the game of football. You get that little seed of doubt in your head. Oh shit, here's the guy that's got all the speed. It affects what your thinking is. One little tiny misstep, kid's gonna be gone. And I mean, it's a very short list of players that can explode the way that he can out of his release. I mentioned it a couple of shows ago. It's special. I mean, his release and the way that he does it so explosively is elite already. And this kid was in the 5th round.
His confidence is something that that's
Johnny Knox. If you watch his interview, he shows so much confidence in himself.
The barber.
I gotta say, because I watched Cut it out. So he showed the game is not too big for him, and he showed that he just in his voice and in his confidence, you can see he's ready to do this. He's all business and he's ready to go. So, I mean, if I saw this week 1, I would have said, my Wims prediction would have been a Mooney prediction, because now, I mean, I think that kid's gonna blow up this year. I think he's gonna have a
my favorite Bears player to ever come out of Tulane, Phil.
It's mine too. Well, no, Mike Singletary was Baylor.
Yeah.
We're gonna have so much fun.
Tulane is 14.
If you love the Bears, you love football.
That's why I said it. That's why I said it.
If you love the Bears and you love football, we are gonna have so much fun. We're just learning these and experimenting with some of the stuff that we're producing and doing it along with you guys. I can't think of more fun and people than the 100 crew and the people that are involved. So I had to just say that little piece because I'm excited. It's fun again, talking football with good people. Just like my dad said, Cars, surround yourself with good people and the tape never lies. We have both of them together and we're doing it tonight.
It's fun. It's just natural and fun, and you can razz each other and
exactly. No one's butt hurt. And
we'll find out from Claudio after the show.
No, trust me, it don't faze me, man. It don't faze
he's dealt with me for his whole life.
I grew up with, and I don't know if everybody knows.
He's gonna share
I grew up
stories.
with Phil since I was 3 years old. I got stories.
He's got a lot of stories.
Yeah, a lot of stories. I'm used to getting my balls busted. I'm 7 years younger than Phil. I grew up in a dead end with all people Phil's age. So I grew up with all people 7 years older than me. That I just took it, So
Claudio,
it's all good. It's fun.
We're getting drunk.
I got some stories.
The Claudio story.
We might have to.
The time I hit him with a dart. That was. I literally hit him with a dart.
That's for the next show.
That's the next.
We're not even done with this segment.
The last tweet. Best tweet.
Cars is going nuts. Cars is a big Warren Sharp fan.
Huge.
At Sharp Football, the Detroit Lions became just the 4th team since 2006 to blow a 17-point lead entering the 4th quarter. Teams previously had been 779-3.
Wow.
A 99.6 percentage in that span. So that shows you how special of a win that was, even though it just was a drop pass away from not happening. But Money Mitch stepped up in the 4th quarter, got the team going. Anthony Miller. You could talk about Mitch owning Detroit. Anthony Miller's starting to enter that territory too, owning Detroit. So, no matter how it happened, we hear the coaches say it's
crazy.
hard to win in the NFL. And you know
So
what?
difficult.
The Bears hadn't won since 2013 in week 1. So let's take it and let's build on it, and let's win another one this weekend in Soldier Field against the Giants. So Phil, Cars, Claudio, those are my best tweets of the week.
Oh, you can't beat what Shayne brings to the table every week. We even brought a new segment to the table. I'm building a segment intro to our next and final segment. It would be the shout out segment, the Spencer Strong shout out segment, which I'm looking for the branding of it, and I can't find it. All I could find is that, and here it is. The Spencer Strong shout out segment today is brought to you by Coke Zero. If you're
by Phil's Coke Zero.
By Phil's Coke Zero.
Just tastes better for some reason.
Keeping it 100. Go over to the YouTube channel, subscribe and like. I guess you can't put both of those up at the same time. So go keep it 100. We're keeping it 100 here in the shout outs. I'm going to need a better beat
Hold on.
to get me through.
Cherie's got a point. We have not done predictions for the game.
Oh yeah. There you go. Bold predictions.
What would we do without 100?
Cherie is going to take Claudio's
You guys are awesome.
job and be the producer on the backtrack of this. Claudio, give us your bold prediction as you're the moderator.
This game against the Giants?
The Giants for Cherie.
Boy, I got to think about it.
You got to come up with a bold prediction when it comes to this game. We're going to get you some music here.
Here's a bold prediction.
The Claudio beat.
Ready?
Yes.
Mitch Trubisky will play good all 4 quarters.
And a game
bold.
prediction as well. That
And
is a bold
Okay, that's my bold prediction. He's going to look good consistently all game. And my game prediction is the Bears 21-14. How's that?
That is a Shayne lower scroll. 21-14, you said?
Yes, sir.
21-14. Cars.
Bold
prediction.
My bold prediction is that Mooney is going to have 2 plays over 40 yards against the Giants' defensive backfield. So 2 big plays. So I've learned my lesson from what we saw. I'm going to go 24-20 Bears.
24-20. Wow, closer than I thought. Closer.
I
than
think
I
it's just
thought.
ugly football for 2 weeks. So that's where I'm going with it.
Wow. Predictions are flying in here on the
But you
bottom.
know what I have to say
Claudio's
to-
doing a good job.
You know what I have to say to that, Phil?
Yes.
I think we're going to be partying this Sunday.
Yeah?
In a big, big way. I think the Chicago Bears are going to come out and they're going to knock some fuckers out and surprise everybody. That's why I'm saying Chicago 31, the New York Football Giants 13. It's not close. We don't have the controllers in our hand threatening to smash it against the wall. we don't have to. We're not waiting for a rookie running back to drop a pass so we can win the football game. I think Mitch comes out and Mitch has another strong game. I think we're going to see David Montgomery pop one. And I'm going to say he gets a 38-yard touchdown run.
Bold predictions by Shayne.
38 yards.
I need Lawrence Fleming, who, by the way...
And there's going to be one more prediction from me.
You got a lot of predictions.
You're going to see Cole Kmet have a little bit more of an impact in the reception column.
Oh, all
I
the
think that's
Notre
a-
Dame fans.
He has 1 catch. He's had more of an impact. I mean, that's not too bold.
No, I'm not saying 1
Be
catch
more-
for 5 yards.
What
I
are
think
you
he's
talking about?
We're gonna be like, oh, there you go. That's why he's
Like
here.
4 catches, 38 yards, and a
I could
touchdown type of thing?
Yeah, I could see him getting a jump ball in the end zone. Absolutely. But yep, David Montgomery, 38-yard touchdown run. Mitch is gonna have another solid, strong game. Finish it. We're gonna see 4-quarter Mitch. How about that?
All right. You and Claudio doubling down.
Yeah, all 4 quarters.
My bold prediction was also Mitch was going to ball out for 4 quarters. So I have to switch mine up. I'm going to do the Claudio and take 2 things. I'm going to say Demetrius Harris scores 2 touchdowns against the Giants.
I did not say that, Chubbs. Please direct
Demetrius
all
Harris
anger towards Shayne.
scores 2 touchdowns against the Giants. That's my bold prediction.
Nice.
I'm also going to say the Chicago Bears are going to win 35-10 over the New York Giants. Right on cue with the beat.
Phil is
Stop
always
it.
terrible when he says we're going to boat race a team, though.
No, I've been correct.
No.
Yes, I have.
You said we were going to boat race Philly in the playoffs.
Okay.
I'll kill you for that.
Everybody thought we were going to boat race Philly.
No, I did not.
What was my prediction? 34-17, I think I predicted.
I can't remember.
We should have
Let's not
won
talk
that
about
game.
that. Let's
for
not
God's
talk about
sake.
it.
You brought it back up. But anyway.
Let me add
There's
one
our
more prediction from actually Tate. Tate at dinner, your son. I don't.
My
You didn't
son,
hear it.
No.
I don't think you heard this. I asked Tate. I said, Tate, who's gonna win this week? Actually, I asked him who he's playing. He's like Giants. He knows it. He's
You
ready.
know
on top
he's
of it.
unbelievable.
And I'm like, who's gonna win? He's like, Bears. I'm like, what's the score? 65-0. That's Tate's prediction.
Talk about a
So
boat race.
I think I think Phil's.
He
listening.
thinks Ditka's coaching, obviously, this week. That's the
Well, he saw the
Bring up
Ditka's
Ditka.
shirt.
He
See
was
the Ditka's
asking.
shirt?
He's
I
like,
got the
who's
Ditka's
that on
shirt
your shirt? Did he die? He wanted to know.
Yeah, he asked him Ditka died. He's like, is that the guy that died? He pointed at my shirt. He's like, is that the guy that died?
To a lot of fans lately, yes, he has.
Yeah, I did see what he said. Let's not get into politics.
No
but yeah,
politics.
I did see what he said. He
Boom.
said.
All right.
All right.
We're regathered. Shayne, we're going to get you out of here soon. Bears fans,
60
keep it
more
100.
minutes, buddy.
I'm just going to do one thing business-wise as before we get into the shout-outs, because Cherie did the great thing and reminded us to make some predictions. But this Sunday, like every Sunday, what do? We have Bears Hour live right after the game. Me and Shayne, sometimes Claudio, Cars, and others like you. And every Sunday, 100 Crew Hot Takes. So if you are fired up, pissed, happy, have something, you're one fan we're bringing on every week. Last week,
prepared though.
We got to be prepared.
We had a redheaded Amish guy last week. I forget
Yes,
what
he
his
was in
name
the open for Claudio's.
He was good though. He's good. He's good
Do
in
you
the
remember
chat.
his name?
Yeah, right here. I'm putting him up.
Look,
Yup.
there he is.
Yup. Right
That
there.
does not
He's got
look
a
like
different-
him at all.
Actually,
Is he
wait. I did want to
shaved?
bring this up. I wanted to bring this up at Bears Hour Live. See the picture he's got there with no beard. You
Yes.
guys like Mitch with the beard or without the beard?
I'm going to say Mitch without the beard.
Yeah, he looks like he's
He
got more
looks like
hair.
he's ready to
I
like...
think he has more hair in that one too, right?
Well,
looks
if
like
you
he's
go
Could be a
on
really
his
young
face-
photo. I mean, my
How
Facebook
old is
photo
that?
is young too. That's
He
when I was
looks like
skinny,
he's
so.
a weatherman for like a local affiliate out of Boston or something. But
And
anyway,
today's prediction at Detroit is rain, and that's really what it
It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet, bar none. It's Bears Hour Live immediately after each and every Bears game with host Shayne, the smartest man, and draft Dr. Phil Otoshan every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, immediately after Bears games. Your guys, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw are live on Bears Hour Live. Subscribe to the show via the Tape Never Lies Network, which can be found on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet, Bears Hour Live.
Oh shit!
there you go. This Sunday or after every Bears game. If they have it on Monday night, Cars, what's the equation? We'll be live
Carry
right
the
after.
7 times 2. we will be live until 4:30 in the morning. I think is the
Shayne will be
equation.
Especially if it goes into overtime.
We did an hour and 48 minutes last for Bears.
I was
Hour
quite
Live.
It's gonna be late.
Thank
you guys
you.
did it well. You did it well.
Shayne and I, we're getting on it. Here we go. We're finishing up. I wanted to make sure we took care of that. So this Sunday, right after the game, YouTube, Facebook, and real quick, one last thing, Shayne. I'm sorry, we got to do these things.
One last things, yes.
No, the podcast. Everybody loves Deezer now. Everyone's become a Deezer fan. I'm looking for the podcast. There it is. So, real quick, Bears Hour Live. We've told you many a times. I'm going to keep it 100 again. Yes, Spencer Strong will be going to Patreon, the post game. Half of Tape Never Lies will be free. Some will be, lots more will be on Patreon. Keeping it 100 every week free, live, and some pop-up shows we're going to do, both Patreon and free. We say free, whatever the fuck we call it. Live, here. Patreon, we have so much exciting shit in store. But before that, all of the Bears Hour Lives for now, up until, I think, Tampa week, will be our official, the week of Tampa will be our official move to Bears Hour Live, Tape Never Lies, some of the stuff, all into Patreon. It's going to be $7 a month or $7 or $8, whatever it is. We're still working with the Patreon people. You're going to get it all. So we appreciate your support and everything. Our families do. We love you guys. But I'm just saying, for now, up until then, Bears Hour Live, because a bunch of truck drivers were asking me and Shayne, where's the Bears Hour Live? It's going to be hosted by Shy City. Those guys, go over there, check out their message boards. They're streaming here live. They're going to put out the Bears Hour Live on podcast.
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, Castbox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shayne.
Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shayne and Aldo, Claudio, and Cars. Everyone
Is this live? Can we cut that out?
It's always a mistake. There's always a mistake.
Well, I think because in the comments
Cars
somebody
reaction.
put it in there, so subconsciously. All
It
right.
was someone.
All right,
Anyway.
subconsciously. It's all right.
We all
We all make mistakes.
Is there a take two? No. Anyway, Cars and Claudio, cut it out. Cut it out. Go back and cut it out.
You didn't show the guy from Full House. I told you to pull that clip.
Listen, I can't
What's
find
his name,
it.
Shayne? You know his name, Shayne.
Dave Coulier.
There you go.
There you go.
Who knows about him doing a show where he did Cut It Out? That's where I got that.
Nobody.
That was his stand-up routine on Full House. Yes.
There was a show before Full House. where he did it,
Anyway,
but-
Spencer Strong. We did all the business side. Bears Hour Live this Sunday. Podcast on Monday. Shout out Shy City Sports. Let's put them up here for, supporting us and being a part of us on this network that we enjoy. Go over there, check them out. Shy City Sports. Check out their message boards. Do all of that stuff. Now let's get to the shout outs, Cars.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Remind everybody who's on the show with you right now.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to right now? What are the three names?
Claudio, Shayne, and my man at Bears Nerd, Matt Cars.
We just wanted to make sure you remembered.
Okay.
That was all that mattered. Your senile moment.
You're getting older. You're getting
Listen,
older.
Yeah, I mean,
we
we
talked
gotta
about
get
that tonight.
Freudian slips happen. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, Allen Robinson had one maybe.
Yeah.
So
come on.
We all do it. All
You
right.
gotta play big. Cars, you have a shout out.
Yeah, it's really tough this week because like everybody's been so vocal. There's been so many great conversations across everywhere, other than certain tweets that I shared, like 6 of them right before the show started. So no, I mean like the 100 crew is amazing. This has been so much fun. Every show feels like more fun. So no, like I'm cheap in the way I do this, but thanks everybody for listening. It's really been a blast.
Look at that. You're a class act, brother.
Sometimes.
Totally appreciate you.
Sometimes.
We debate and fight, but we understand that's the part of it. That's the fun of being brothers. Claudio.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short and sweet like Cars too. I mean, gotta
Shayne's
give it up to the
favorite.
fans, especially with all the support. I got all the people putting in their videos for that promo was awesome. My wife, of course, thank you for doing that. Took about 10 takes. She didn't like the look, the light, this and that, but she looked beautiful, so it's all good. And and thanks for you guys again. This is fun, and we're 1-0, and shout out to the Bears for not giving up. The whole team.
Look at that.
There you go.
Claudio.
Like it.
Shane's loving the Claudio way.
Yeah.
I love the beat. I really
So that
do.
leaves me now, right? For my shout out?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I want to, obviously, the 100 crew, thanks everybody showing up, showing out every week, every pop-up show. It really is amazing. It's humbling. But the way that a lot of this works is like there's no specific streaming service for Twitter, so Periscope lets us do that so we can stream to our Twitter feed. So if you want to make sure that everybody's following the Tape Never Lies Network Twitter, if you want to build that up, that's going to be a big part of us getting content out to you guys, announcements, everything like that. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. But I want to shout out a few of the people that are watching us each and every week through Periscope. So I got a nice little list here of people that I'd like to share with everybody.
This can only be good things.
Yeah, so we're going to shout out Raph Tucker, and he's at ZZNoop61. Thank you. Nate Giovanone, everybody knows him. He's a
Big
longtime
Nate.
listener. The Barfly Tailgate Show has been listening into everyone. Brian Quinn, everybody knows him as Diddy. He's been a big watcher of what we're doing here each and every show we go live. John Buffone, I think everybody knows that name, has been watching us every week on
really?
Periscope. Handicap This, Bruno Marino, Chicago Crux, Edge, Adam Rank. There's another guy that's watching on
Adam
Periscope.
Ranks.
The list, they break it down. Mike North, I think everybody knows that name, watching us each and every week and at least tuning in on Twitter to see what's going on the Tape Never Lies Network. Evan, Young Carl, Peter Bukowski is on the list here, chiming in,
he's
watching
watching.
us on Twitter. And the last one is Robert Phelan, Bobby Bombs, checking us out
Loving
on
the
Twitter.
show, I'm sure.
So thank you to all of our Periscope. I love it because Periscope sends me a list of people that maybe they might not be participating in the chat room, but they send me a list of who's logged on and watching us. So I want to shout out everybody for supporting us and watching us. It means a lot to us, and I thought I'd shout you all out.
That was the straight napalm segment of the week right there. That was good.
I gotta give love.
Look at that.
You're a loving
You're
man.
giving the love. You're
I
a
do.
loving father. You're honestly a loving brother. Great
Some
dude.
say he loves too much. I mean, that's just a curse that he's
Some
got.
say
Yeah.
love.
If you could turn that into a segment now, that would be fantastic.
Who's watching and trying to pretend they're not? On the next Keeping It 100. Keeping It 100. I'm going to shout out everybody that participated in my other brother from another mother, Claudio's, which I am now a huge fan of. Cut It Out! And I will start the list with Mitch Galloway, Joe Nicrone, John Gray with the beard, my wife Stephanie, Claudio's wife, Melissa, Lady Bear, Sandy Tom from across the pond. Who am I forgetting? Remy was up in there, Shayne. I should have wrote all these people down. Heidi. My boy Will Mookie Hill was in there. Shit. I'm so pissed that I don't have everybody. I should watch it again. I should have wrote it. I was doing all this stuff and re-fucking-freshing the goddamn... What do you call
we
it?
We got another question.
The
Nobody's asked this yet.
Go ahead.
So
while I'm looking up people.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good question, Harry. When is the tape breakdown coming?
Oh,
Phil?
Jesus Christ. No more tape breakdowns. It's coming when the all 22 becomes available. Chris Sandlin. How could I forget him? Let me think of all the bald guys. Ryan Cox. The guy's son is the shout-out. Spencer Strong. You got Ryan Cox going in there.
Mitch Galloway
Jeremy.
will be there in about a year and a half, I think.
Jeremy
Sorry,
Plashinsky from Chicago Bears super fans. I hope I get it right on Facebook. Who else did it for me? John Gray, I said. Will Mookie Hill. Kostos from Greece was in there, Claudio. All the way from Greece. Sandy Tom from across the pond. Paulie Coasters, Shayne. Your number one fan in Jersey. Paulie Coasters was on there.
Did you shout out number 50, the kid wearing the number 52?
Oh my God! How could I forget?
It's gonna kill you.
Riley Marsaw. Shayne brought up my son. Riley Marsaw was that little number 52 in there, and I think I got everybody. Lady Bear obviously was in there. Everything, all for fun. Great show tonight. I also want to say, on this Sunday, the voice of Bears Barroom is going to make his first appearance on the network live. That's Lawrence Fleming II Cars with that voice. The Deezer voice.
For a second.
He's coming on Bears Hour Live and is going to share his. So get yourselves ready for this Sunday. Bears Hour Live, Giants Bears. Amazing show. Let me finally do this right. The Ender, Shayne.
This has been a Shy City Sports presentation and a Tape Never Lies Network production. Keeping it 100. Thanks for tuning in to the Tape Never Lies Network.